Cancelo on the left and Kyle Walker on the right. What do you make of this defensive four? Is this the final piece in the jigsaw for Guardiola? Has he got it right now?
No idea. Who knows? Left back is a disaster defensively. João Cancelo, I can't see him being much of an improvement on that. A right footer playing on the left, completely out of position. Nathan Ake has come in and done okay at times. Ruben Diaz, looking forward to seeing more of him. Looks as though he might be a little bit more solid. I think long term the partnership is probably going to be Diaz and Laporte, if I'm honest.
Yes, no Laporte today for Manchester City, though Ake is here. Bench, by the way, for Man City: Stefan, the US #1, Stones, Garcia, Gundogan, Fernandinho, Torres, Luis, Maitland-Niles, Partey, the big summer signing, Elneny, Lacazette and Nketiah. Thomas Partey just on the bench then for Arsenal. Some thought he might start this one, though he came back from Turkey on Thursday, had one training session, we think, with the Arsenal side. But when you buy a £45 million new Vieira, you do start him, don't you, in a game against Manchester City? I'm quite surprised to see him on the bench.
I'm not surprised to see him on the bench. I think obviously the late time he arrived at Arsenal and the lack of sessions has probably meant that he wouldn't start. But I think they know exactly what they're going to get. Mikel Arteta's put this side out. He knows exactly what he's going to get from this 3-4-3 formation. They're going to try and hit Manchester City on the break. They're going to be solid. They're going to be dependable. And I think Xhaka and Ceballos are actually quite a good combination in the way that they complement each other.
And maybe we will find that out this evening. It's a very tough game for this Arsenal midfield, but of course they have beaten Man City in recent history in that FA Cup semi-final. They haven't, though, won a game against one of the self-anointed top six away from home since beating Manchester City here 5 years ago. Santi Cazorla on the score sheet back then, so plenty to prove for Arsenal tonight. Same for Manchester City, who have not started this campaign particularly well. Kick-off in this one is in around about 25 minutes from now. When we come back from this break, we'll look back at games that have already happened in the Premier League today, and there have been some real entertaining fixtures already, with draws on Merseyside between Everton and Liverpool, and in London, where Chelsea just drew 3-3 with Southampton. Somehow, some fantastic goals to discuss in that one. Well, stick with us. You're listening to Premier League Live.
As darkness sweeps around the globe at 8 p.m. on the 18th of November, 25,000 people worldwide will pull their running shoes on to hit the road for a virtual 5 or 10k at Run in the Dark. I'm Mark Pollock, and by joining us to Run in the Dark this November, you'll be supporting the Mark Pollock Trust and our charity partner Collaborative Cures, whose mission it is to cure paralysis in our lifetime. Register now at runinthedark.org and get your medal, your flashing armband, and your Run in the Dark virtual timing app. Thank you.
Certainty. With Volkswagen commercial vehicles, it's included as standard. The Crafter, Transporter and the all-new 5th generation Caddy are more innovative, dynamic and efficient than ever before. Now with HB Finance from 0%, purchase contributions of up to €3,500 and service plans from €9.99. They're the smart next step for your business. For vans and offers you can rely on always. Contact your local Volkswagen commercial vehicles dealer or visit VolkswagenVans.ie and leave the rest to us. Finance provided by way of hire purchase agreement from Volkswagen Financial Services Ireland and subject to lending criteria. Terms and conditions apply.
Get ready and hold on tight, because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football, plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed, because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
Demanding a high performance from your team? You should be demanding the same from your tires. The Irish Tyre Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tyres. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tyres below the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 millimeters. ITIA expert technicians will carry out a free tyre safety check to ensure your tyres are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
Grant has been providing reliable, efficient and affordable home heating technology for over 40 years. years. From the award-winning Grant Vortex condensing oil boiler to the highly efficient Arona heat pump, you can trust Grant to heat your home. Think heating, think Grant. Visit grant.eu.
We know everyone thinks this season's going to be different, but at Paddy Power, we're staying positive, because isn't the new normal just the same old football? Avoid unnecessary journeys? That's Fulham's trip to Anfield off. Self-isolate? Some strikers do that very effectively already. You see? New normal, same old football. And that's why with Paddy Power's Acca Cracker, if one leg of your 4+ fold Acca lets you down, you get a free bet on all football matches and all markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. Need help? Contact gambling.care.ie. 18+.
You're with Premier League Live. We're counting down to kick-off in our third of 4 feature Premier League games today as Manchester City take on Arsenal. Headline team news, Sergio Aguero is back for Manchester City and starts up front. For Arsenal, record signing Thomas Partey, who came in on transfer deadline day only on the bench today. Pepe, Aubameyang, Willian, the front three, Lacazette on the bench. We'll talk more about this game as we approach kick-off, which is in around 20 minutes from now. Tom Rennie and Chris Perry with you for the moment. Earlier today, John Anderson was your lead commentator for the Merseyside derby. Fantastic game at Goodison Park between Everton, who started the day top of the table, and Liverpool, of course, Premier League champions. And let's get John's take on the game.
A thrilling 237th Merseyside derby saw Liverpool extend their unbeaten run over Everton to 23 games as Carlo Ancelotti's men twice came from behind to maintain their unbeaten start. Liverpool needed a riposte after the disaster against Aston Villa and quickly provided it through Sadio Mane's third-minute goal, his 4th of the season. Michael Keane equalised for Everton, rising to head home James Rodriguez corner, but Mo Salah restored the lead with his 100th Liverpool goal. But the irrepressible Dominic Calvert-Lewin popped up again to head in his 10th goal of the season to make it 2-2. Everton's Richarlison was then sent off for a horrible challenge on Thiago and would have been punished further had Jordan Henderson's stoppage time goal not been controversially disallowed by VAR for a fractional offside. In keeping with this season so far, it was thrills and spills at Goodison, and it finished Everton 2, Liverpool 2.
John Anderson, who did the commentary of the Merseyside derby for us earlier today, 2-2 in the end, and as described, a game not without its controversies. Maybe chief among them was the performance of Jordan Pickford and the various things he was involved in. In the second half, he makes the save. It's a save that sees the ball loop up in the air, go in the net. Offside is given. Looks to me like it's the armpit of Mane offside, and offside because it was in advance of the backside of Ben Godfrey. We'll get to that, but maybe by that point, Pickford should already have been sent off for an awful challenge on Virgil van Dijk early doors. He wasn't, because Van Dijk was offside, so the play had officially stopped. Jurgen Klopp spoke to us afterwards and says he can't quite understand that.
You couldn't see that it was offside. That's hard to take, how you can imagine, in a really tight game when you are the better side, which was not clear before the game that we will be that, but the boys made a proper performance, showed a proper performance with all the setbacks we had in the game. With Virgil, obviously, Joe came on, played a super game. So these are the things, and that's what we have to deal with now.
Chris Perry, VAR, the Premier League, Pigmole, all those types have got in touch and said that they should have gone back and looked at Jordan Pickford's challenge on Virgil van Dijk. They did not. It was just a simple offside against the Liverpool defender. We don't have an update for you, by the way, on his condition. If we get one, we will bring it. But that's a terrible challenge. Right, if that's in central midfield, that's a straight red card.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, it beggars belief, really, that VAR can look at it in terms of whether he was offside, but they can't actually look at whether it was a really poor challenge and that it should be a red or a yellow card.
And what about the second big offside decision in the game, which was the Jordan Henderson winning goal, which was ruled out? It does look like it's armpit and backside. Does that matter? Was it offside?
The rule always used to be is looking to gain an advantage. Sadio Mane is facing away from the goal. He's walking back in the other direction. He's facing away from the goal. He's not looking to gain an advantage. I don't see how that should be given. I think that's wrong.
But it is given, and the odd thing is that I've only seen this on television monitors. We haven't seen the intricacies of what the Hawkeye people have seen, but every single replay I look at here, with the yellow line, the red line, the blue line, it's still not 100% clear to me that he's offside.
No, and when it's that tight, I think you want it to just make sense. You want it to be given to the team that scores the goal. I mean, it can't be that precise.
No. And we will, of course, debate that at length all day, all week, all month, and if it ends up costing Liverpool or indeed Everton the title, maybe all year. Let's hear from Carlo Ancelotti, the Everton manager, whose side remain unbeaten and remain top of the table.
We can have a different point of view. On the Pickford, I don't know. I think it was offside, and so the game was stopped a little bit before, and then the last goal is VAR that has to take a decision. Unfortunately, we cannot control this. I know that I can understand that he was disappointed for this, because at the same time I was really happy.
Magnificent fence hitting from Carlo Ancelotti. Still, Everton haven't won the Merseyside derby at Goodison for a decade. Another year, another missed opportunity to win that game. But all in all, if you compare this to previous Merseyside derbies, Chris, you can see the improvements that Everton have made.
There's been a huge improvement, hasn't there? I mean, they really have brought in some excellent players over the summer. The likes of Doucouré and Allen and James Rodriguez have certainly improved the squad, and the form of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and the goals that he's scoring at the moment means they thoroughly deserve to be top of the table.
Yes, they remain there and will remain there for this weekend, because they are far in advance of the other possible contenders. Aston Villa unbeaten this season, of course, but they've played one game less, so even if they win tomorrow, they would remain a point behind on Monday Night Football. Sorry, thank you. No, when is it? It's tomorrow night, isn't it, the Villa-Leeds game? I don't know what day of the week it is in a minute.
Yeah.
Too many games, isn't there? There's too much happening. I've got the fixture list in front of me. It's far too confusing. It's the late game tomorrow, of course it is. Thank you. 7:15 UK time. Elsewhere today, another game just finished. Great commentary as ever from Russell Hargreaves today alongside Hogan Ephraim. 3-3, it finished at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Southampton. Another game, Chris, I know you're watching it on your TV monitors as we were building up to our game here. And it's another game where Chelsea have scored 3 goals. Going forward, they look fantastic. But defensively, I mean, can we even call what Chelsea did today defending? What on earth is going on with some of those goals? The second one, the Che Adams goal, I mean, that was absolutely hilarious. It was Marx Brothers-esque.
It's a comedy of errors, isn't it? I mean, as you say, there's errors all over the place. They have 2 or 3 opportunities just to kick the ball off and concede a corner. They can't even manage to do that. Southampton end up taking advantage of it, going on, getting a really good point. When you thought at 2-0 they were out of the game. So I mean, for them it's a great point, but for Chelsea it just shows the weaknesses that they have at the back and where they haven't strengthened the squad.
Yeah, still no Mendy for Chelsea, injured away with Senegal this week, so Kepa Arrizabalaga, perhaps surprisingly, got the nod to start in goal. Maybe that's something that Frank Lampard is regretting now. Willy Caballero was on the bench, who has come in several times to replace Kepa when he hasn't been playing particularly well, so, a lot. But for Chelsea, I mean, some of their fans have been understandably a bit underwhelmed by the signings of Timo Werner and Kai Havertz. They haven't done a great deal for Chelsea since coming in this summer, but today both on the score sheet. 2 from Werner, 1 from Havertz.
Yeah, they're both very good young players that are only going to get better, and I think that's the key here. Havertz particularly is a real young talent that I think is going to blossom. I'm not sure his best position is off the right hand side. He needs to play as a 10 in behind Werner, and Timo Werner, I'm still not sure they quite understand how best to use him, whether he's better as a striker by himself or whether he likes to play off with someone. I actually think they've got the perfect foil for him in Olivier Giroud, but whether they'll play Giroud, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Olivier Giroud, the second all-time goal scorer for the French national side, a World Cup winner, can't get off the bench. bench for Chelsea in a home draw against Southampton. Funny old game. Later today, another game for you in the Premier League, by the way. Newcastle United against Manchester United, reuniting Tim Long and Paul Parker, the United legend who covered the Tottenham game a couple of weeks ago. And I've got to say, I enjoyed that commentary immensely, in that they were both just staggering in their criticism of Manchester United on the day, and it was all completely justified, but it was a brilliant commentary, very enjoyable. Maybe not for Manchester United fans, could have been cathartic for them maybe. They're back together again for Newcastle Man U after this one. Our feature game is Manchester City up against Arsenal. Kickoff is in around 10 minutes from now. Let's hear from the two bosses, shall we? Long-term friends and former colleagues, Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta.
But first, maybe we should clarify who's the master, who's the apprentice first. And the second one, we didn't, I think all the people who knows him, we didn't have any doubts about what he's doing in a short period of time. He settled really well in a special way his team Arsenal is playing right now. He suits perfect for the quality they have. He was able to get back, Arsenal get back in the position were for a long time ago.
Well, our ambition is to go there and try to beat them again. We know the challenge. You know how hard it is. Every detail, every individual performance has to be top. We have to control a lot of aspects of the game against them that they might be very different to the ones that we have to control against Sheffield. But we have to be able to adapt as a team when we face this kind of opposition.
These 6, 7, 8 goals per game every weekend is not normal. So, but maybe it's going to happen. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think maybe it's going to settle normally in the future, in the next times. So we'll be injured a lot. There are a lot of games, many teams, especially the teams who play in Europe. There are many games in a short time of preparation. So that's why it will be difficult to know exactly what is going on.
We are having more discussions with the Premier League and the broadcasters in order to achieve a good solution for all parties. As you said, it's an unprecedented situation, so I think we are learning from it, trying to adapt from it and make the right decision. But football is based on our fans and the viewers that we have, and we have to respect them and have them as much as possible on board with us, because we really need them, and we can see how different this sport is without them.
Yeah, Chris, it's interesting, isn't it, the way games have gone since football has returned. Going into this weekend, 144 goals in the Premier League already, 31 up on last season, already today a 2-2 and a 3-3. I say never bring fans back.
Yeah, well, I'm from the other end of the book, aren't I, in terms of a defender. I like to see some good defending, and if I'm honest, the standard of defending in the Premier League is virtually non-existent at the moment.
Man City this season, 4 points from 3 games. Guardiola's worst ever start to a league campaign. City's worst start to a league campaign for 10 years. What's going on?
It's difficult. The back four is a complete work in progress. It gets changed every single week. It's never settled. They look good going forward, but they really have missed Aguero, and the fact that he's back today is big for them. But then they get Aguero back, but they lose De Bruyne. Hopefully not for long, because De Bruyne is the best player in the league, and they just got no consistency of selection, and it looks as though they've got no consistency of performance. They're great going forward, but defensively they're all over the place.
We mentioned Laporte earlier on. We were just getting our minions to try and find out what was up with Aymeric Laporte. We're just getting Knock back, which isn't particularly helpful, but he's missing today, Aymeric Laporte, as is Mendy. If we get more details, we will of course bring them to you. For Arsenal, I mean, they've beaten Man City in recent times, haven't they, in that FA Cup semi-final? A couple of goals from Aubameyang in that one at Wembley Stadium. Of course, went on to win the final against Chelsea. In the league, though, against other top sides, they have struggled for a long time. How does Arteta go about winning this one?
I think he's going to do exactly what he did in that FA Cup game. He's going to try and sit back in, try and invite Manchester City onto them and try and hit them on the counter-attack, as Leicester did, really, and cause them a few problems. And I think they will cause them problems. I think it's almost a tried and trusted way of playing now for Arsenal when they play like this. if they play 3 at the back, I think it's fine. But it looked in the warm-up to me as though they might go 4, which I think would be a big surprise, because I think they'll be really wide open to play against Manchester City.
Yeah, originally we were handed some information it would be a 4 at the back, but I always give the caveat that we wait until the teams come out, because they could be lying to us, or it could be someone that didn't quite understand the formation. Who knows?
It certainly looked in the warm-up there was some back 4 work going on from Arsenal, and it was Bellerin, it was Holding, it was Gabriel, and it was Tierney as a back 4. It looked like.
Well, they have looked better as a 3 in recent times under Mikel Arteta, but we shall see. Final question on the front 3: Willian, Aubameyang, Pepe. Is that Aubameyang centre or Pepe centre?
You'd like to think it would be Aubameyang central. I think this is best position still. It'd be interesting because Pepe is definitely better off the right. I could see Willian playing just in behind Aubameyang and Pepe on the right and Saka on the left in a 4-3-3.
We shall see. Lots of options, lots of possibilities. The one thing we can guarantee in the Premier League these days is there will be lots of goals. So stick with this as Man City look for a first win in 3 matches, while Arsenal are targeting a 4th victory from their opening 5. Kick-off is next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the Ford Transit Custom from €290 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford Lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost to standard rate. Price quoted for Transit Custom base with no maintenance over 4 years with 3 monthly rentals in advance. 20,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Merriam Fleet Management, trading as Ford Lease.
Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with a stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely in our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen. This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Scoil Céile. Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than business as usual. Call Black Knight on 059 918 3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
I was never good at spelling. I could read just fine, but I would be afraid if anybody asked me to do anything involving spelling. But since doing the course, all that has changed. I am braver. In fact, I feel braver than ever now. You know, you're never too old to learn. Never.
If reading, writing, maths or technology is holding you back, take the first step. Free phone 1-800-2020-65 or text LEARN to 550 to see how we can help. This free and confidential service is supported by your local ETB, Solis and Nala.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sports settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
123inc.ie have your office needs covered. So whether you're an accountant, butcher, carpenter, dentist, electrician, florist, graphic designer, hairdresser, journalist, lecturer, musician, optician, retailer, teacher, solicitor, web designer, or yoga instructor, we've got what you need. And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123inc.ie. For home, for office, for less.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Manchester City against Arsenal from the Etihad Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me for this one is the former Tottenham Hotspur, Wimbledon and Southampton defender, Chris Perry. This is Premier League Live. Manchester City are unbeaten in 9 Premier League meetings between these two, so history is on their side, but recent form is not. City's tally of 4 points is their lowest after 3 games of the season since 2010. 2011. For Arsenal, they have won 8 of their last 12 Premier League games, one more than they had in their previous 28 attempts. Their tally of 25 points from those fixtures is the joint highest in the division in that time frame, alongside Liverpool. That was before the Reds picked up a point earlier today. Let's get to the team news then. A change in the lineups from what we told you before the break. We're just getting word in. There is a change to the Arsenal side. David Luiz has come in for Rob Holding, who was injured somewhere in the warm-up. So, Chris Perry, we were speaking about back fours the build-up.
That's why.
And it looks like David Luiz could be in a back four at the Etihad today.
No, I think it's going to be a back three now with David Luiz playing. You cannot play him in a back four.
Yes, it could be Tierney, Luiz and Gabriel. We will confirm it for you. Look, we'll get Chris Perry to assess that as the teams take shape in just a few moments. But yeah, that would be an error, you would say, if they do put David Luiz in a back four here. We'll confirm it for you as soon as we know, but that is confirmed that Holding is out and Luiz is in, so just 6 men on the bench now for Arsenal. Man City, let's start team news with them. Sergio Aguero starts today, having been injured this season thus far. He is up front alongside Raheem Sterling and Riyad Mahrez. Edison the goalkeeper. Back four is João Cancelo, Nathan Ake, Ruben Dias and Kyle Walker. Rodrigo, Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva are the midfield trio. It's 4 changes from the Leeds game. De Bruyne, Torres, Mendy and Laporte all drop out. De Bruyne, Mendy and Laporte all injured. On the bench for Man City, Zach Steffen, John Stones, Ilkay Gundogan, Ferran Torres, Fernandinho, Liam Delap and Eric Garcia. For Arsenal then, Bernd Leno is in goal. Does now look like a back three of Kieran Tierney, Gabriel and David Luiz, who comes in for Holding. Hector Bellerin, Bukayo Saka, wing-back positions. Granit Xhaka, Dani Ceballos in midfield. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Willian and Nicola Pepe completing the starting 11. That's what it looks like, with Saka on the left-hand side and Bellerin on the right. On the bench for Arsenal, Rune Alex Runarsson, the goalkeeper. Alexandre Lacazette, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the big money signing Thomas Partey. David Luiz is now starting, so he's no longer on the bench. Mohamed El-Neni and Eddie Nketiah. Chris Kavanagh is our referee. That's not right, is it? Elsewhere, we've got the VAR of Stuart Atwell and Anthony Taylor, our fourth official. We'll get you all duff information on our sheet today. I'll get that double checked for you. We are underway, and it does, Chris, look like a back three for us.
Yeah, I think you have to play a back three when you've got David Luiz in there. It looked like a back three originally, didn't it? We thought, but then obviously when we saw them defending it with a four, it was without Rob Holding.
It is Chris Kavanagh, our referee. It didn't look like him there for a second, so I just wanted to double check that as Riyad Mahrez takes a pot shot early doors from distance, which goes wide, so he is our referee. Man City wearing sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks. They attack the goal away to our right in this first period. Arsenal wearing their navy third strip, or is it fourth strip? They've got a lot of strips this season, but it's all navy, shirt, shorts and socks with kind of salmon numbering and trim. They attack the goal away to our left. 1 minute gone, Chris. Early chance there for Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Little setback from Aguero to Mahrez on his left foot, coming inside the pitch, trying to bend it into the far corner, just wide of Bernd Leno's post, but a really good effort.
And we're just hearing that Rob Holding had a hamstring issue whilst doing those defensive drills that Chris Perry was watching in the build-up, and that's why David Luiz is in, and that's why we have this change of formation. That's why we have David Luiz passing the ball back to Leno here in his own penalty area, left to Gabriel. They're being chased down here, are Arsenal, and they're still managing to work their way out of it, and they've done really well. And Tierney will lob this one down the line. Already palpitations for Arsenal fans. Luiz on the ball in his own area.
They play out the back dangerously, don't they, with Leno? I actually think they made a huge mistake keeping Leno. I think they should have kept Martinez, but that's just my opinion. I don't think he plays out particularly well. I don't think he feels the goal. I just don't think he comes to crosses. I don't think he's as good. The funny thing for Arsenal is Willian seems to be playing centre forward. Aubameyang on the left and Pepe on the right.
Yes, that is pretty much the only scenario of that trio we didn't quite anticipate.
Absolutely.
But Willian centre forward for Arsenal today, with Lacazette and Nketiah sitting on the bench. Yeah, that's the super coaches for you. They do what they want. 2.5 minutes gone here. Man City 0, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live. Tom Rennie and Chris Perry with you. Bit of a weird start, to be fair, with the late changes and all of that, but we are now refocused and back to normal. Great game of football ahead of us. Down the left-hand side, Nathan Ake for Manchester City will find Bernardo Silva. To his left is Phil Foden. Looping cross towards the back post, away by Tierney, who was a doubt for this one, as he was supposed to be in a 14-day isolation, having been near Stuart Armstrong in the Scotland squad, who picked up coronavirus, though they argued that because he returned a negative test and was socially distanced from Armstrong, he should be allowed to return to England and indeed this team, and that seemingly, obviously, was proved to be the case, and he is back in the 11, and that's important for Arsenal. Kieran Tierney has really given some solidity on that left-hand side, and Chris, as he's showing here, a versatile player that can play left-back and left centre-back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think he's a very, very good young player. Don't think we're quite to see the best of him yet. I think he's still getting up to speed in the Premier League, but I think he's certainly a big player for the future of Arsenal.
Thanks for the footwork there from Saka, who has shown some versatility himself during his spell in the Arsenal first team. I've seen him play left-back, right-back, attacking left wing. He was meant to start today in midfield, and he's now gone to left wing-back.
I think Arsenal are trying to do something really clever. They're trying to play two shapes. One shape in possession, which is a 4 at the back, like a 4-3-3, with Tierney as left-back and Saka inside the pitch. And then out of possession, they're dropping into that 3-4-3 that's been so successful defensively for them.
Chip upfield to Willian, who's around the centre circle, ran into trouble in the shape of Ruben Dias and lost possession. City will lob it all the way back to their goalkeeper Ederson, away to our left. Last time he played here in the league, of course, he conceded 5, Ederson. We'll be hoping for a better day today than against Leicester City. Feels like a lifetime ago. Just a few short weeks.
It's only a couple of weeks, isn't it? But it's those 3 international games made it feel longer, I think. And how bad England were against Denmark.
Yeah, let's move on to that as quickly as we possibly can. Wasn't a bad international break for everyone, though. Bukayo Saka made his England debut in the 3-0 friendly win against Wales. Didn't feature in that game against Denmark or against Belgium, but now a senior England international. Here's Kieran Tierney, the Scotland international, carrying the ball towards the halfway line here for Arsenal. Gets to the halfway before being challenged by the retreating Cancelo, and that's an Arsenal throw. 5 minutes gone, 0-0 between Manchester City and the Gunners.
I think that Manchester City are playing a 3 at the back.
So it's Ruben Dias in the centre of it, with Ake on the right, Walker on the right, Ake on the left.
Ake on the left, Cancelo's playing right wing back, Foden's playing left wing back.
Now that wasn't how they lined up when they kicked off. They may have shuffled that when they've seen Arsenal's team.
I think they have, yeah. I think Pep Guardiola's seen Arsenal line up in a 3 and has changed himself to a 3 to match it up.
Well, lots of chat about formation so far. Not a great deal of action to tell you about, but
Nathan Ake would never be that wide if he was playing as an orthodox centre-back in a back 4.
Maybe he shouldn't be, as he's just been caught there by Bellerin. Then Diaz caught by Aubameyang following the challenge. Diaz did well there to find a pass back to Ederson, despite the pressure from Arsenal's skipper. Back to Ederson, upfield now to the halfway. Ake will find Sterling. Sterling looks right to Mahrez, approaching the penalty area. Riyad Mahrez cuts inside, then outside, then crosses. Aguero's header. Aguero's instinctive flip towards goal with the ball goes over the crossbar.
Yeah, well, what Arsenal did really well here, when the ball went out to Mahrez, Tierney did brilliantly, made sure he couldn't come inside on that left foot, forced him wide, crosses it to Aguero. There's very little distance between Mahrez and Aguero. It's kind of fired at Aguero's head, and he does brilliantly just to even guide it anywhere near the goal, really. To have got it on target would have been an absolutely superb header.
Classic instinctive play by Sergio Aguero. Back in the 11 today for Manchester City. Scored a hat-trick on his last start against Arsenal. That was in the Premier League win here back in February 2019. Top scorer in the Premier League in this fixture, Sergio Aguero, with 8 goals. So Arsenal fans perhaps not delighted to see Sergio Aguero returning today with his bleach blonde hair in the centre of the City attack, and they're looking for him again here as Raheem Sterling tries to turn forward away from Ceballos. He can't. Ceballos nicks it, and then the England international who's wearing the captain's armband for Manchester City today, Raheem Sterling, fouls Ceballos. Upfield quickly in the air towards Aubameyang, headed away by the retreating Diaz. in towards Rodrigo. His pass was a touch short, but Ruben Dias read it well and got there before Pepe, who was closing in. Ake down the left-hand side towards Phil Foden, but the chip ball from Ake has gone into touch, and that will be a throw-in.
Raheem Sterling's almost playing up alongside Sergio Aguero at times, which is exciting to watch, I think.
Yeah, I mean, formations have almost gone out the window, haven't they? We're trying to assess what they are in the opening 8 minutes.
It's almost like they know each other so well, Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta. They've almost tried to overthink it for each other.
Here's Bukayo Saka, a very smart player, tries to chop in field away from Rodrigo, goes down, wants the free kick.
I think it was a given. I think it was a foul. I think it was clever play from Saka.
Good high pressing here, though, by Arsenal. They are looking to take advantage of City's change of shape when it was Arsenal who were forced into that change with Rob Holding's injury. Ake chips upfield. Foden heads infield to Aguero, who's come deep. They're midway inside their own half here, Manchester City. Rodrigo finds a ball outright to Riyad Mahrez on the sideline. Up against Tierney. Looks back across the halfway to Rodrigo. To his left is Diaz, who looks forward to Nathan Ake, brought in from Bournemouth during the summer following their relegation. Sterling, the skipper, left to Bernardo Silva.
I think Manchester City have missed him as well. Bernardo Silva's energy. In that midfield area.
Cross towards Aguero. It's away by Gabriel. Ruben Dias recovers on the halfway line. City have the ball again with Bernardo Silva. He'll look left to Nathan Ake. City have failed to win their last 2 Premier League matches. First time they'd failed to win in successive games since December. ...2018, and so this will be an important match for Pep Guardiola. And I know it's early, but it is crucial for them to take advantage of Liverpool dropping points earlier today.
That gap's getting quite big to the top, though, isn't it, at the moment?
It certainly is. Though, of course, they have played a game less, having missed the first week because of their Champions League exploits post-restart, pre-season. 10 minutes gone. It's Manchester City 0, Arsenal 0 here on Premier League Live. Hello to Adam, who's listening to us in the cornfields of Indiana in the USA, watching along with his brother Kyle and friend Robbie, who are his enemies for the next couple of hours. So I assume some of you are Arsenal fans and some of you are City fans. You're assuming knowledge that I've got. I don't know you personally. You've got to tell us more information than that. Why are you enemies? Are you taking your sister for dinner or something? We need to know this information. Keep your tweets coming into us. At TalkSport Live is the place. Crossfield ball here for City, trying to find Riyad Mahrez. Rises in the air with Tierney.
He didn't quite fancy that challenge, Riyad Mahrez. He saw Tierney come in and pulled out of it.
Ball's gone into touch. It was over his head anyway, Riyad Mahrez, man who made his Premier League debut for Man City in a victory over Arsenal a couple of years ago now, August 2018. £60 million signing from Leicester that summer as Bernardo Silva drives forward to find Sergio Aguero, end-line right-hand side. Arsenal defender Gabriel does well to stand firm, stand strong, and get the challenge in. It will be a corner to Manchester City.
It's a good one, wasn't it? Lovely driving run from midfield from Bernardo Silva. That's what City have missed for me. His energy in midfield. He can drive the team forward. Very different player to De Bruyne.
Corner on the attacking right-hand side for Manchester City. Mahrez will take it left-footed towards Aguero. It's flicked away by Aubameyang. Then Pepe's header, he tried to go backwards with it. He went forwards. And unfortunately for him, forwards meant facing his own goal. Broke back to Foden, who got a shot away, cleared away.
I'm not sure about Nicolas Pepe there defending. I'd try and... If I was Mikel Arteta, I'd have him up front in the centre circle, get him as far away from your goal as possible.
If I was Mikel Arteta, I'd have him on the bench, but that's a whole other story.
I think he's actually improved this season. I think he's been good so far.
Corner on the left-hand side. No time for that debate as the ball comes in. Gabriel away.
Just not there on the edge.
Pepe turns away from Mahrez. He's done quite well that time, but he has eventually lost it to Riyad Mahrez. But his arm was being pulled by the retreating Manchester City player. And Pepe that time has won a free kick for his side, though played it risky, nearly got caught.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he doesn't fill you with confidence, does he, when he gets it on the edge of the box that he's going to clear his lines and do the right thing. He's one of those players that wants to get the ball down and take people on, and there's areas of the pitch where if you get caught, it's a real danger.
I do keep saying about Nicola Pepe, not that he's a bad player, but he's a much better player when the ball's not rolling. When it's rolling, I don't really think he knows what he's doing. But when it's a set piece, or when he's able to put his foot on it, beautiful left foot.
I think, yeah, he's got an absolutely lovely left foot. And when he cuts inside from the right wing onto his left foot, he's a real danger in the final third.
Absolutely. Hoping to be that now as they look to come forward here. Arsenal on the opposite side. Saka and Aubameyang edging their way forward over the halfway. There is a foul by Rodrigo, a Guardiola on the halfway professional foul to stop the breakaway. And would you believe it, it's an early booking for a Manchester City player. That's Rodrigo in the book.
Chris Gavin has got that one spot on. He grabbed Saka's shirt. Saka was too quick for him. Just breaking up play, wasn't he? Gets the yellow card for it.
That's a concern for Rodrigo in midfield, because usually the City players have 5 or 6 fouls in them before they finally get yellow carded for that. And that's something Arsenal could maybe capitalise on if they break away with pace.
They do have Fernandinho on the bench to come on and replace him
to get that booking.
As well, he'll certainly get one when he gets on the pitch. Yeah.
On the halfway, Arsenal trying to play the ball upfield, crossfield to this near side. That ball goes into touch. It'll be a Manchester City throw in front of both managers on the edge of their own technical area. Guardiola wearing navy hooded coat this evening. Mikel Arteta to his right, no coat, black shirt. On the edge of his technical area. Ball is played back towards the Manchester City penalty area, and Rodrigo. To his left is Ruben Dias, who will then find Ederson, all decked out in light green, pushed it up towards the halfway line, where Gabriel beats Mahrez to the aerial ball. Then Saka has robbed Cancelo of it, and Arsenal can break away with Ceballos. Down the left-hand side is Aubameyang. Shouts of offside from Kyle Walker, not given at the moment. Aubameyang's pass towards Saka was poor, intercepted by Riyad Mahrez, who plays a pass right across his own penalty area there on the edge of it to Bernardo Silva. Somewhat dangerous, but Bernardo Silva got there and has made something of it. He's carried it up towards the halfway, over the halfway. Was surely being fouled there by Pepe. Referee says play on, and we do, with Raheem Sterling, who shaped the shoe from distance, well blocked by the retreating Xhaka, recovered by Rodrigo, left to Ake. City back on the ball, 15 minutes gone, it's still 0-0.
It's been an entertaining game with very little goalmouth action at the moment, but certainly intriguing the way the two teams are set up.
Here's Phil Foden down the left-hand side. He's away from Bayern, he's away from Willian, back to Aguero, further back to Bernardo Silva, edge of the area left-hand side. Behind him is Rodrigo. Rodrigo looks right to Kyle Walker. Walker on to Mahrez. Mahrez back to Kyle Walker, into the feet of João Cancelo right to Riyad Mahrez. Arsenal forcing City away from goal inch by inch, but City keeping possession. They look left to Ruben Dias, who will find Phil Foden. Overruns it, challenged by Bellerin, and then Foden snapped into Willian there. It was a poor challenge from the young Englishman, and I think that should probably be a yellow card there.
He just lost control of it himself, didn't he? A little bit of frustration maybe. Dives in, studs into the back of the Achilles of Willian. Will be a painful one.
Willian looks like he will be all right though, limping heavily. No yellow card for Phil Foden. Adam's been back in touch and we can clear things up now. Adam is a Man City fan and his friends, he says, are, quote, evil gooners. So there we go. I didn't want people to not know that whole story. Now you do.
It makes sense now, doesn't it?
It does make sense. Initially there was too much assumed knowledge there, but you know, we'll all be friends again in an hour and a half from now, I'm sure. But for the minute, bitter enemies. 16 minutes gone, 0-0 here. Arsenal have it in the left back area by their own corner flag. Gabriel loops it upfield towards Aubameyang, won easily by Walker. Knocked into the centre of the field where Bernardo Silva volleys it back to Ruben Dias. Willian chasing him down, goes back to the goalkeeper Ederson. Out left to Phil Foden, who's started this game on the left-hand side in that wing-back position in the 3-5-2 formation we are seeing at the moment, sort of 3-4-3, but Sterling looks deeper than the others at the moment. Ceballos with a dig out right towards Bellerin, away on the edge of his own area by Phil Foden, up towards Sterling. It was surely fouled there by Granit Xhaka. Xhaka put his left arm on the shoulder of Raheem Sterling, brings him down, and he says, I won the ball, Gov. Yeah, you did that by pulling down Raheem Sterling. We were watching you.
He did go through the back of Raheem Sterling, didn't he? But if you're Arsenal, you're trying to get Hector Bellerin forward in that wing-back role up against Phil Foden, because that looks like it should be a mismatch.
At the moment, Arsenal haven't quite got their attacking game plan going, but of course, Chris, the game plan was thrown out the window 5 minutes before kick-off with the injury to Rob Holding.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure Willian centre-forward would have been in the plans, and if they were, that might be Arteta trying to be a bit too clever. I don't think I've ever seen him play there in, 10 years of watching him in the Premier League. And Aubameyang tries to find him now, and he wasn't watching.
He wasn't looking, was he? He wasn't. I mean, as you say, we've watched him at Chelsea for so many years in the Premier League, and he's played on the right or on the left, cutting inside onto his right foot. Great quality. For me, it makes sense in this line-up. Sure, you play Aubameyang centre forward, you play Willian on the left, he cuts inside on his right foot, bends it towards the far post. You've got Aubameyang in the position where he's made his name and scored so many goals for Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, we'll come back to that, because I'd love you to try and explain to me Arteta's thinking. Maybe picked up a bit of Guardiola's overthinking in the big games. But for the moment, City are coming forward with Nathan Ake down the left-hand side, midway inside Arsenal territory. Ball into Phil Foden, back to Rodrigo, who looks infield to Ruben Dias. To his right is Kyle Walker. Further on down the line to Riyad Mahrez, who can run at Saka, level with the penalty area. Cuts inside, finds Cancelo, can't get away from a couple of challenges there. Tierney and Ceballos. Upfield by Tierney, trying to release Pepe, intercepted by Ake. And City are back on the ball again. 20 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Walker back to Ederson.
I think Arsenal will be pleased with the opening 20 minutes in terms of they've been able to stop Manchester City creating any chances. They've won it back a few times and they've played out from the back. I think they'd just like to have offered a little bit more of an attacking threat themselves.
David Luiz on the right-hand side of this rejigged defensive three will look back towards Leno. All in a kind of fluorescent salmon pink kit today. To his right, he'll find Luiz under some pressure. Forward to Bellerin, then back to Xhaka, in towards Willian. First time back to Bellerin, onto Ceballos. Nice football from Arsenal to get towards the halfway. Tierney has to accelerate to pick that up on the halfway and does. Looks to find Willian. His crossfield pass ricocheted off Rodrigo, so didn't find the Brazilian, but Arsenal retake possession again. Tierney down the line to Saka on the end line, left-hand side. Left-footed cross is a deep one. Same towards Bellerin, who's all over the back of Phil Foden there. A looping cross. Bellerin tried to take an illegal advantage, and that's going to be a free kick.
That's absolutely brilliant tracking back from Phil Foden. Track Bellerin all the way back into his own penalty box. He's never favourite to win that header, but he gets himself in the perfect defensive position and defends it so well that Bellerin has to try and foul him at the back post. Wins the free kick. It's brilliant from Foden, but will he switch on every single time? And that's the question mark, and that's why Bellerin has to keep making that run.
We haven't seen Phil Foden as much as we've seen Willian, of course, but I can't recall ever seeing Phil Foden playing left wing back before. Started 6 Premier League games either side of the break. His longest ever run of starts in the Premier League. He is seen as the heir apparent to the recently departed David Silva, but I can't recall ever seeing him play in that position before.
No, not as a wing back. I mean, he's very high up the pitch at the moment. I think they're trying to press really high and force Arsenal into mistakes, which they have done again.
Arsenal loop the ball forward again in the air towards Aubameyang, who can't flick on. They haven't got that right tonight thus far, Arsenal, but I do like the fact that they play the ball around Arsenal. They play some good football, but also they're not afraid to lump it up to the striker for the flick on as well. There's a good variety.
Sometimes that's the best ball. Ederson just tried one there, and 80-yard pass forward. Sometimes the best pass it's a 60, 70-yard pass. It's about making that correct decision, and Arsenal have mixed it up well. The problem for Arsenal is if Aubameyang's flicking it, there's no way Willian's going to make a natural run of a centre forward and get him beyond him and cause real problems. You want someone flicking it on for Aubameyang.
The discussion in the programme I was doing yesterday was, will it be Lacazette or Nketiah? Somewhat surprised it's neither.
Yeah, no, very surprised it was neither, absolutely.
Arsenal have won 9 points from their opening 4 games, their best start to a season in 7 years, so plenty Mikel Arteta is getting right. Do you think he's got his starting 11 right today? At TalkSport Live, the place to get in touch. Here's Riyad Mahrez in the halfway line. Beautiful ball slipped in to Sergio Aguero, and Aguero finds Foden. Great save by Leno, breaks back to Raheem Sterling, and Raheem Sterling opens the scoring. Lovely move by Manchester City, an injection of pace, a touch of incision, and a finish from Sterling. 1-0.
It's a beautifully worked goal from Manchester City, it really is. Lovely ball into Riyad Mahrez, just protects it, lays it into Aguero. Aguero running across the pitch, times his pass perfectly for Foden, who comes inside Bellerin far too easily onto his right foot, fires the shot at Leno at point blank range. He makes a brilliant save, to be honest. He gets a little bit unlucky because the rebound falls straight to Raheem Sterling, who fires it low and hard into the bottom right hand corner, gives Manchester City the lead. It's a really calm finish from Raheem Sterling. Would have been easy for him to panic or rush this, but he just passes it into the net with his instep.
Second Premier League goal of the season for Raheem Sterling. 4 goals and 1 assist in his last 3 appearances, including tonight in all competitions, and it's now 4 goals in his last 6 appearances against Arsenal. Calm finish as well from Raheem Sterling. Striker's finish from Raheem Sterling.
It was the finish of a striker who's playing with a lot of confidence at the moment.
Arsenal will need to respond. The way the Premier League season has gone, they probably will. And they're coming forward now down the left-hand side with Aubameyang. Slipped in down the left channel. Cancelo slides in with the tackle. And that is a Arsenal throw down the left-hand side. 25 minutes gone. It's Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0. Saka finds Ceballos behind him on the halfway line. Gabriel picks it up into Xhaka. Back to Gabriel. And to his right is David Luiz. Still on the halfway line here, Arsenal. Some possession in City territory for the first time in the match, really. Xhaka cross-field finds Tierney, who's got forward. Ceballos first time forward to Saka, trying to make that penetrating move, and here he is now in the penalty area. Brilliant play by Bukayo Saka, gets this snapshot away, left-footed, and it's tipped over the top from Ederson.
Yeah, he waltzes past João Cancelo far too easy. It's Rodrigo actually comes over, and Saka comes inside, works it onto his left foot. The angle's against him, he fires the shot towards goal. It's a comfortable save for Everton, just helps it over the crossbar, but a corner for Arsenal.
Save that had to be made nonetheless, and it does lead to this corner, which is actually over on the attacking right-hand side, which is somewhat surprising. to be taken by Willian. Right-footed, out-swinging. Won by a gaggle of City players. Turned forward by Tierney. Blocked again. Breaks to Willian. Right-footed cross. Pepe's header. Header is wide from the near post area from Nicola Pepe. Much better from Arsenal.
Yeah, much better. I mean, the initial cross was really well defended by Ake. Then a beautiful strike on the volley from Tierney that hit Ake again. Comes back out to Willian. His ball is brilliant for Pepe, who's unmarked at the near post. 13, 14 yards out, tries to guide his header, gets a really good contact but can't guide his header on target.
26 minutes gone, 1-0 to Manchester City. Better from Arsenal since going behind. Just a reminder for those that are just joining us, or a reminder for those that are with us, and new information for those just joining us. Sergio Aguero starting today for Manchester City. Thomas Partey on the bench for Arsenal. And just before kick-off, Rob Holding picked up a hamstring injury, so David Luiz came in, causing a reshuffle for Arsenal, which then led to a formational reshuffle for City as well. And their goal came from Raheem Sterling about 4 minutes ago. Here is Raheem Sterling. Pokes it towards Cancelo on the edge, onto Riyad Mahrez, right-hand side, gets the snapshot away, breaks back to him off Leno, and the second shot, well blocked by Gabriel, the centre-half, and that will go for a corner to Man City off the Arsenal man last.
Raheem Sterling really looks as though he's enjoying himself. Riyad Mahrez, you have to keep him on that right foot. You can't allow him inside to open the goal up. It's a really good save at the near post from Leno, and then Gabriel gets the second block from Mahrez.
Corner on the right-hand side. Mahrez will take it. Whipped in with the left boot. Leno comes out, makes the catch, clean. Wants to start the Arsenal counter. Rolls it out quickly to Ceballos and looks down the right channel to Pepe, who's up against Kyle Walker. And Pepe rather let the ball run under his feet and allow Kyle Walker to steal there. And City are back on the ball.
I think it's sensible from City, though, to have Kyle Walker as your last man. You know, fantastic pace, and probably the only one in the City team, defensively anyway, who would have had the pace to stay with Nicola Pepe.
From that point, Kyle Walker played it back to his own goalkeeper, back to him again, and then they're giving it a pump upfield, which has gone straight into touch. City, poor start to this season thus far, 4 points in their opening 3 games. We mentioned their worst start since 2010. They've only lost twice of their opening home games, both their opening home games of the season, twice in their history, and that was in 1930 and then again in 1953. They've never lost their opening 2 games of a season more than that, and so an important game for Man City in many ways, both in the here and now and historically. Started this
Do you find that a little bit amazing when you think how bad City were at certain periods in the 80s and 90s?
Yes, it is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And yet, at Main Road and the Etihad, they have been able to avoid such poor records. Foden down the left-hand side. Low cross, blocked by the retreating Bellerin. Ricochets off the Arsenal defender for a corner to Man City. Another corner to Manchester City. They are certainly racking up early doors. This will be their 4th by my count of the early exchanges. Taken short by Foden to Bernardo Silva. Looks diagonal back towards Kyle Walker in the centre of the field. Chips it forward. Dead straight to Leno. No idea what the plan was there. Leno will blast it upfield towards Pepe. Certainly an obvious tactic, but once again Kyle Walker is too smart for Pepe.
That's not going to work, is it, for Arsenal? They're trying to get Nicola Pepe 1v1, but against Kyle Walker he just hasn't got the pace to do it, and he's not going to beat him in the air either.
If only they had a pacey centre forward who could maybe challenge Kyle Walker for those loose balls. Is there anyone out there? Can we see anybody? Anybody? Anyone out there? It's weird so far. For those that don't get that, excellent joke. We're talking about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who's over on the left-hand side for some reason of the front 3 with Willian and Pepe, the other 2, but Willian's centre forward, which we can't quite understand at the moment. Maybe you can. A great message from one of our regular listeners, DJ Keefe, who says centre forwards in abundance, and we have Willian playing up front. Thus far Arteta is not getting it right, and I think that's a view we would share at the moment.
Spot on. I don't really understand what Willian's doing for the team.
At the moment, he's chasing shadows as City play the ball around him and Pepe, and they've worked it left to Nathan Ake, around about 15 yards over the halfway on the left side line. Back to Rodrigo, then further to Diaz. He will find Kyle Walker on the sideline, into Cancelo, then Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz again. 2 yards over the halfway on the right-hand side at the moment. On to Kyle Walker, chips it upfield to Riyad Mahrez, who brings it down the chest. Up against Tierney, he brings it back infield and chips it right to left to Bernardo Silva. Volleyed back towards Nathan Ake. Here's Bernardo Silva, turn of pace, running forward against Pepe, finds Foden. Back to Sterling. Sterling will find Rodrigo, into Aguero, back to Sterling. Sterling approaching the area, turns away from Ceballos to the left-hand side. Foden now on the left, back to Bernardo Silva, left-footed cross. After all that, the cross is poor, and Saka can clear on the end-line left-hand side, but he'll back to Kyle Walker, under some pressure from Willian, will go all the way back to his goalkeeper. 32 minutes gone, it's Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0. Raheem Sterling's second Premier League goal of the season on 23 minutes, separating the two teams.
It's just, at the moment, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has moved to centre forward and Willian has moved out to left. Let's see if that's a permanent thing or whether it's just it's just happened in play. It looks like as though Aubameyang is now playing centre forward.
And here's City's centre forward, Sergio Aguero. Crosses towards Sterling, hits the chest of David Luiz. That might have been a penalty on the first week of the season. We're not giving penalties that sort of thing anymore, thankfully.
He couldn't have tried to get his arms out of the way anymore, could he?
Well, you are kind of obliged now, aren't you, as a centre-half, to put your arms behind your body when you enter your own penalty area, which is a bit mad and no way to keep your balance, but that's kind of what you have to do now.
On Aubameyang watch, he's gone back out to the left, unfortunately.
Brand new feature here on Premier League Live, Aubameyang Watch, presented by Chris Perry. Bernardo Silva into Aguero, dummies for Sterling, back to Aguero, blocked by Xhaka on the edge of his own area. City come again, Riyad Mahrez on the left boot, out on the right, takes a snapshot after he gets away from Saka with some trademark Mahrez jinking in and out, but the shot's over the top.
He's so good, isn't he? Because you don't want him to go onto his left foot so much that you overcover and show him so far onto his right that he has to go on his right, and he's shown this season that he's got a fantastic right foot when he really catches it. He doesn't quite catch that one correctly and it goes flying over the crossbar, but so difficult to play against Riyad Mahrez.
Such a fantastic footballer, Riyad Mahrez, for Manchester City. We'll come back to that as Sergio Aguero has it in the penalty area here, and he's found Phil Foden after Arsenal gave the ball away. Saved by Leno. Breaks to Bernardo Silva, left-hand side, up against David Luiz. Goes back to Raheem Sterling, into Foden. But David Luiz will clear it after Arsenal gave the ball away, trying to play out from their own goalkeeper. City have possession in the centre circle.
Leno and Arsenal take so many risks in those areas of the pitch.
Well, we are praising them, aren't we, at times, for looking long when they need to, but they do that a touch too often, and everyone loves it when they do it, but I do always feel that teams give the ball away more than score the perfect goal, and those odds, they don't support keeping doing it.
Well, not when a team presses as well as Manchester City do, and are playing such a high press.
Here they go again, Manchester City. Aguero, nutmeg on Xhaka, tries to get a shot away on the edge, but Xhaka recovers well, and then he's fouled as he carries his team upfield by the retreating João Cancelo.
You're not allowed to call it a nutmeg, Tom, if he doesn't get it the other side.
Oh, what do you call it then?
Yeah, it just doesn't count. It's really good play from Xhaka.
I can't call it really good play from Xhaka every time someone does it. You've got to give me something snappier than that.
No, what I'm saying is, if you go for the nutmeg and you don't get it the other side, then it doesn't count as a nut. It's never been a nutmeg. You have to get the ball the other side of him, or it has to go to someone.
Hey, I didn't know that. This is why we get you in, so you can teach me these little things that I didn't know. We can maybe give it a name here. But
the non-nutmeg.
Yes. Half nuts.
Half nuts. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
You like that? Done the old half nuts.
Yeah.
Just an idea. Might not catch on. I'm going to try and make it catch on. Back to the game.
Just be me and you, Tom.
Yes, but that's all I care about, really. As long as you and I are enjoying ourselves, hopefully other people will come with us. 36 minutes gone here. Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live. Tom Reddy and Chris Perry enjoying ourselves. As is Raheem Sterling, who's all over the field at the moment.
I was just about to say, I've not seen him involved in a game this much. When he's playing out on the left, sometimes he's a bit isolated out there, but given a little bit more freedom in this system to be more central and be more involved in the play, and he's been excellent.
Almost at times playing number 10, isn't he, behind Aguero. Mahrez when he gets forward, but then he drops out right, he comes deep. Just win us the game, I think, is the tactic so far for Raheem Sterling from Pep Guardiola. Most appearances for Man City under Guardiola. Just the 4th player in Pep's managerial history to play 200 games for him. The others, Dani Alves, Xavi and Lionel Messi. So trusted amongst that great trio.
Pretty good company, that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just 25 still, Raheem Sterling as well. He's the kind of guy I feel like he's been around forever. A high ball here towards Aubameyang for Arsenal down the left wing. He gets goal side of Cancelo, but not of Kyle Walker, who puts a strong challenge in. And that will be a corner. I think that has just gone over the end line.
Yeah, it's a good run from Aubameyang, gets in behind Cancelo, but Walker's pace comes across, deals with the danger really well. Can't quite stop it going behind for the corner. But that's why he's playing in that right side centre half in a back three to cover around Cancelo, who is not comfortable defensively.
38 minutes gone here. Corner on the attacking left-hand side for Arsenal. Willian will take it. Right-footed towards the near post. Gabriel was there, as was Ederson, who gets a strong punch away. Goes for a throw which Willian's already taken. Back to Ceballos, forward to Saka, who's got a bit of room here. Crosses hit the backside of Pepe. If he was a bit more alert to that Pepe, he could have made something of it. Was cleared away by City, not very far. Arsenal retake possession again with Dani Ceballos. Back to Gabriel on the halfway, leaves it for David Luiz. Arsenal just trying to reshape, keep the ball in their own half instead of starting another attack. Good chance there as Saka whipped to...
I don't think he actually meant it to find Nicola Pepe, but he was unmarked in the box, just couldn't quite adjust his body to control it.
If Saka maybe mishit that cross a little bit more, it may well have fallen into Pepe's path, so City may well have got away with that one. They have the lead though against Arsenal with 39 minutes on the clock. Gabriel has the ball for Arsenal, slipped into Aubameyang, a little bit close to Rodrigo, but Aubameyang's made nothing of that. Saka might as he robs Cancelo up the field. Tierney's taken it off Bernardo Silva, and Tierney's in the area here. Onto Saka, then Aubameyang, then Saka! Great save by Ederson. Brilliant football by Saka and Aubameyang. Ederson read it, and he just manages to get a big left arm on that football as Saka looked to chip him.
There's a lovely 1-2, wasn't it? He's onside, Bukayo Saka, just the goalkeeper to beat. He's so quick off his line, Ederson. He comes out, he makes himself big, and it hits him on the left shoulder and goes over the crossbar. Saka thought he'd done everything right and scored there. What a save from the Brazilian keeper.
Well, it's great pressing from Tierney and Saka to get Arsenal that chance, and it hasn't gone yet because they have a corner on the right hand side which Willian will take. Right footed and chipped towards no one really. Sterling heads it poorly back towards the penalty spot. Ake clears it. Referee says Aubameyang has shoved Ake as he heads away, and that's a Manchester City free kick. Well, what a chance that was for Arsenal. Best of the half.
Yeah, it's certainly Arsenal's best chance. Lovely 1-2, wasn't it? Good play from Tierney, as you said, and Saka pressing together to win the ball high up the pitch. Lovely 1-2 with Aubameyang. Found himself in. Tried to bend it with his right foot towards the far corner. Thought he'd done everything right, and Ederson comes up with the save.
Arsenal won the ball again here, and they're through with Aubameyang. Shoots that goal. Looked offside. Offside is since given. He was slipped in there from a really fast-paced ball from Xhaka initially, but I'm not sure he was making anything other than a decoy run to allow some space for Pepe, who poked it to him.
He's onside.
Yeah, we're getting the replay here, and as we saw earlier,
what a save again.
You can be played onside or offside by the buttocks, as Ben Godfrey will attest. And that time it looked like he was being played onside by the buttocks of Diaz there. And it's another good save.
Yeah, Ederson wasn't to know, was he? It's a good save. It's a poor finish from a man who scores as many goals as Aubameyang. He should be putting that in the back of the net, should be lifting it over Ederson. But credit Ederson how quickly he was off his line.
Here he is, Ederson, in his own penalty area, ball at feet, where he's very comfortable. Chips it towards Riyad Mahrez on the halfway line, straight to his chest. Aubameyang has scored against 20 of 23 Premier League sides he has faced. Never scored against Manchester City.
It's the longest
in the Premier League, that is.
Longest he's gone against any team. Most minutes he's played against any team in the Premier League without scoring a goal.
Get out of my brain. I was just going to that. Absolutely right. Of course, as we mentioned,
We've got the same stats man's on.
Yeah, well, that's true. I said it to you. And he did score in the FA Cup semi. Anyway, 42 minutes gone. City down the right-hand side here are chipping towards Riyad Mahrez. Tierney again, good defending from him as Mahrez and Aguero were closing in, and in fact the ball has come off a City leg last as it's gone into touch and will be a throw-in to be taken by Tierney.
You get the feeling now that City need half-time to come. Arsenal are having a good little period here. Two really good chances in quick succession. Arsenal have to take advantage of this period of the game and score. City have to make sure they don't concede, get to half-time.
Arsenal are the form team, and they are the better of the two on the last few minutes, but it's City with the lead. Raheem Sterling with the goal. Bernardo Silva lobs towards the centre circle from the right-hand side, and he finds Ake, brings it down. Forward towards Raheem Sterling. Back to Diaz, then to Bernardo Silva. Raheem Sterling on the halfway line here on the left-hand side. On to Nathan Ake, all over the place, the City players at the moment, as they look to find a gap in the Arsenal defence. Ake overrun it. I think he felt he was fouled there by the retreating Bellerin. One back by Arsenal. They knock it back to Leno, who clears it. No free kick was given, no advantage either. As City come again, 2 minutes until 45 are up. Raheem Sterling, the goal scorer, will find Foden. Back to Raheem Sterling again. Great tweet here from Adebayo, who says, "Good job, guys. Seriously, I don't know how I will console my girlfriend tonight if Arsenal lose this match, because I'm really starving and don't think she'll get me dinner tonight if Arsenal loses." Domestic bliss, it sounds like. Keep your tweets coming in at TalkSport Live, the place to shout out to Chris Perry and I this evening as we head towards half-time here. And don't forget another commentary after this one. The great Tim Long alongside Premier League winner Paul Parker with Newcastle and Manchester United. Here's Pepe on the right-hand side for Arsenal, running Ake for the first time. Turn of pace, beats him initially. Ake went to ground, knocked the ball against Pepe, and that's into touch for a goal kick.
Just so reluctant at times, Pepe, to use his right foot. He actually beat Nathan Ake and had the opportunity to fire the ball across the box, but he just didn't want to use his right foot, wanted to cut back on the left, allowed Ake to get back at him and make the challenge, and it was a good one.
And I can't believe we missed out on this one. Duncan has tweeted us and he says, "I can't believe we didn't call the nutmeg, it didn't come off, a nutmeg."
That's the one.
So good.
That's
so
it.
good.
We've got it. Thank you, Duncan.
We're going to use that from now on. The nutmeg.
That's exactly what it's going to be called.
Very
the nutmeg.
Good. Can you believe we didn't come up with that?
I can.
Obvious when you think about it, isn't it? It's so obvious. We might not be very bright, I think. Anyway, 45 minutes are all but up here as Arsenal come forward down the right-hand side. Pepe looks for Bellerin up against Ruben Diaz, tries a drag-back turn, which just about gets away with. Finds Willian, back to Ceballos. Arsenal keep possession. Volleyed back towards David Luiz. 1 minute to be added on at the end of the opening 45. Tierney, midway inside City territory. Infield to Xhaka, into Aubameyang. Back to Ceballos, lip of the centre circle. Carries out left, looks for Tierney. Tierney edges towards the corner of the area, then goes back to Xhaka, looks to slip in Saka. Lovely ball across the face to Aubameyang, intercepted by Ruben Diaz.
It's beautiful from Granit Xhaka. Defence splitting pass, takes out 4 Manchester City players with one pass. Saka fires it across the 6-yard box with his left foot. Really good defending from Diaz.
Maybe could have done with a touch of elevation, that ball from Saka. Good defending by the City man Ruben Diaz. It will be a corner on the left-hand side, which Willian will take. It's deep towards Gabriel, who's won it. The shouts of handball. Gabriel turns the shot towards goal. It's gone wide.
Will they look at the handball initially? I'm not sure.
Well, the Arsenal players are all up in arms, saying that should have been a penalty.
They are. I think they're looking at this.
Well, the half-time whistle has gone, but it can still be looked at, and we could still have a penalty. As we get a replay here.
Well, we've seen them given, haven't we, with headers hitting your arm when it's high above your head there. No. Absolutely. If anything, he hit Gabriel's arm.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought Arsenal were appealing for a handball against their own player.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit odd. Anyway, it's not going to be a penalty. We are at half-time. You can hear the music being played around the Etihad Stadium. It's 1-0 at half-time. Raheem Sterling's goal on 23 minutes separates the two teams. Analysis to follow. Stick around. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the Ford Transit Custom from €290 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford Lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost a standard rate. Price quoted for Transit Custom Base with no maintenance over 4 years with 3 monthly rentals in advance. 20,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Merriam Fleet Management, trading as Ford Lease.
Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with our stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely in our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Erscá Céile. Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than business as usual. Call Black Knight on 059 918 3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
I was never good at spelling. I could read just fine, but I would be afraid if anybody asked me to do anything involving spelling. But since doing the course, all that has changed. I am braver. In fact, I feel braver than ever now. You know, you're never too old to learn. Never.
If reading, writing, maths or technology is holding you back, take the first step. Free phone 1-800-2020-65 or text LEARN to 550 to see how we can help. This free and confidential service is supported by your local ETB, Solis and Nala.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
123inc.ie have your office needs covered. So whether you're an accountant, butcher, carpenter, dentist, electrician, florist, graphic designer, hairdresser, journalist, lecturer, musician, optician, retailer, teacher, solicitor, web designer, or yoga instructor, we've got what you need. And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123inc.ie. For home, for office, for less.
Half-time on Premier League Live between Manchester City and Arsenal. It's Pep Guardiola's side with the lead at the break. Aguero finds Foden. Great save by Leno. Breaks back to move by Manchester City. An injection of pace. A touch of incision. And a finish from Sterling, 1-0.
Lovely ball into Riyad Mahrez, just protects it, lays it into Aguero. Aguero running across the pitch, times his pass perfectly for Foden, who comes inside Bellerin far too easily onto his right foot, fires the shot at Leno at point blank range. He makes a brilliant save, to be honest. He gets a little bit unlucky because the rebound falls straight to Raheem Sterling, who fires it low and hard into the bottom right hand corner.
See, and he's in the area here, onto Saka, then Aubameyang, then Saka!
What a save.
Great save by Ederson. Brilliant big left arm on that football as Saka looked to chip him.
There's a lovely 1-2, wasn't it? He's onside, Bukayo Saka, just the goalkeeper to beat. He's so quick off his line, Ederson. He comes out, he makes himself big, and it hits him on the left shoulder and goes over the crossbar. Saka thought he'd done everything right and scored there. What a save from the Brazilian keeper.
Yeah, City leading, but Arsenal coming on strong as the 45 wore on. I'm Tom Rennie. Chris Perry is with me. Chris, City took the lead through Raheem Sterling, but kind of took their foot off the gas after that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a worry. I think City started the game better, looked the side that was more likely to score, had a couple of opportunities. Sterling took one, had another couple of opportunities, particularly for Foden, to increase that lead. And then Arsenal, the last 15 minutes of the first half were excellent, creating 2 or 3 opportunities all down the left hand side, all involving Bukayo Saka really, and probably find themselves a little bit unfortunate, if it wasn't for Ederson, not to be level in the game, but could rue those misses, you think, going into the second half. I think the worry for Guardiola would be that in second halves recently they've been really, really poor.
Aguero's back. What do you make of his 45?
Fairly quiet. I mean, he played a really big role in the goal. The pass and the timing of the pass to Phil Foden for Raheem Sterling's goal was absolutely superb. He sucked everyone in. He laid Foden in. Foden should have scored, but he's been a focal point. And what he's done is he's allowed Raheem Sterling to go and play in behind him, have the freedom to receive the ball with space to run into, and Raheem Sterling has caused havoc in that position.
Yeah, he's played fantastically well, scored against Leeds last time out and scored today, the only goal of the game. Final question on this game before we get towards the second half goes on the Arsenal striking situation. Willian, centre forward, we spoke about it in commentary, makes no sense. Nketiah, Lacazette on the bench, surely we see one of them sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you certainly think so with those two on the bench, out and out centre forwards. I can only imagine that Mikel Arteta has some kind of defensive role that Willian is fulfilling, that he's stopping Rodri, maybe potentially controlling the game as much as he can do, but the longer the game goes without them getting back on level terms, you're going to see Lacazette or Nketiah or both.
Yeah, seems like an error so far to be playing Willian in that position, but of course they did get better as that half went on, and for those that missed the start of the game, they had to do a quick pre-kick-off shuffle as Rob Holding got injured in the warm-up just minutes before we came out, picked up a hamstring problem, which is why David Luiz has started. Chris Perry for the moment, thank you very much indeed. This is the third game of our Premier League 10 hours today. The first game of the day was a draw on Merseyside in the derby between Everton and Liverpool. That one finished 2-2. Just before this one it finished 3-3 between Chelsea and Southampton. That was watched for us by Russell Hargreaves.
A deft injury time header by Yannick Vestergaard earned Southampton a dramatic and probably deserved share of the spoils in another frenetic and compelling advert for the Premier League. Chelsea looked in complete control at 2 up 28 minutes in, thanks to Timo Werner's first 2 league goals for the club. But once again, the Blues' shaky defence and Southampton's never-say-die attitude away from home helped turn the tables. Danny Ings' typically predatory strike and Shea Adams capitalising on a horror show at the back made it 2-2. But just 2 minutes later, Frank Lampard's men found themselves back in front again, the returning Christian Pulisic, the orchestrator, helping to tee up the other German new boy Kai Havertz for his first league strike. As Ralph Hasenhüttl rung the changes for the visitors late on, Theo Walcott's impressive second debut 14 years on from his first was capped by his shot being guided in by Vestergaard in the second minute of time added on. Quite a game at Stamford Bridge, where it finished Chelsea 3, Southampton 3.
Another tough day at the office for Frank Lampard and Chelsea. a great result for Southampton, who have started this season very, very well indeed. They certainly have goal scorers amongst their ranks this season, do the Saints. We are not the last game of Saturday's Premier League action. Games have all been shuffled around because we still have no fans in stadiums in England, and so there are games in each unique time slot this weekend and more unique time slots. Newcastle-Manchester United is our next game. Tim Long and Paul Parker, your commentary team for that one. They take over in around an hour from now. Will Harry Maguire be playing? That's the big question after he's sending off an awful performance for England a few days ago, and indeed he wasn't great in United's last game when they were thrashed by Tottenham. Let's hear from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on Maguire.
Harry, he's got great resilience. I know he'll bounce back. I know that he wants to play. He wants to just work his way out of the last couple of games that he's been criticised. He picked up a knock against just before he came off, so I'm just hopeful that he'll be fit. We've had a look at him yesterday and give him a test again today.
That game starts at 8 o'clock UK time. Chris Perry is with me. Chris, quick question on Harry Maguire. Wasn't great for England, wasn't great for Manchester United. Has he picked up a knock, or is that one of those, just tell everyone you got a knock, mate?
It looked to me like he just pulled the top of his hamstring just before he made that ridiculous second challenge for England the other night. Hasn't been great all season, to be honest, has he? Since the season started, hasn't been on really good form, and the two challenges the other night were just stupid challenges.
Would you start him if he's fit, though? I mean, we hear that Bailly's out as well.
I think United will definitely start him if he's fit.
Right. We'll find out. We will find out in an hour or so from now. Team news, in fact, in half an hour from now. We'll bring it to you here as and when we get it from Tim and Paul. We've got a second half of football to bring you first, though, and it's a game that could go either way at the moment. At the break at the Etihad Stadium, it's Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0. Second half follows this. You're listening to Premier League Live.
As darkness sweeps around the globe at 8 p.m. on the 18th of November, 25,000 people worldwide will pull their running shoes on to hit the road for a virtual 5 or 10k at Run in the Dark. I'm Mark Pollock, and by joining us to Run in the Dark this November, you'll be supporting the Mark Pollock Trust and our charity partner Collaborative Cures, whose mission it is to cure paralysis in our lifetime. Register now at runinthedark.org and get your medal, your flashing armband, and your Run in the Dark virtual timing app. Thank you.
Certainty. With Volkswagen commercial vehicles, it's included as standard. The Crafter, Transporter and the all-new 5th generation Caddy are more innovative, dynamic and efficient than ever before. Now with HB Finance from 0%, purchase contributions of up to €3,500 and service plans from €9.99. They're the smart next step for your business. For vans and offers you can rely on always. Contact your local Volkswagen commercial vehicles dealer or visit VolkswagenVans.ie and leave the rest to us. Finance provided by way of hire purchase agreement from Volkswagen Financial Services Ireland and subject to lending criteria. Terms and conditions apply.
Get ready and hold on tight, because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track and who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football, plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed, because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
Demanding a high performance from your team? You should be demanding the same from your tires. The Irish Tyre Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tyres. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tyres below the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 millimeters. ITIA expert technicians will carry out a free tyre safety check to ensure your tyres are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
Grant has been providing reliable, efficient and affordable home heating technology for over 40 years. From the award-winning Grant Vortex condensing oil boiler to the highly efficient Arona heat pump, you can trust Grant to heat your home. Think heating, think Grant. Visit grant.eu.
We know everyone thinks this season's going to be different, but at Paddy Power, we're staying positive. Because isn't the new normal just the same old football? Avoid unnecessary journeys? That's Fulham's trip to Anfield off. Self-isolate? Some strikers do that very effectively already. You see? New normal, same old football. And that's why with Paddy Power's ACCA Cracker, if one leg of your 4+ fold ACCA lets you down, you get a free bet on all football matches and all markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Exclude shop bets. T's and C's apply. Need help? Contact gambling.care.ie. 18+.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Manchester City against Arsenal from the Etihad Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me for this one is the former Tottenham, Wimbledon, Southampton defender, Chris Perry. This is Premier League Live. It is 1-0 to Manchester City at half-time. Raheem Sterling with his second goal in as many Premier League games on 23 minutes, separating the two teams with a smart in-step finish. And it's Raheem Sterling that leads Manchester City out for the start of this second period, wearing the captain's armband today, the 25-year-old number 7. Well, let's give you the two teams, starting with Manchester City. Ederson is in goal. It's a back three of Kyle Walker, Ruben Dias and Nathan Ake. João Cancelo and Phil Foden have been playing in the wing-back positions. Rodrigo, Bernardo Silva and Raheem Sterling, a kind of midfield triangle. Sergio Aguero up front through the centre. Riyad Mahrez out on the right-hand side of a sort of floating right-sided attacker position. It's not been easy, all right, to do the formation today. They're kind of doing what they want, so that's as best as I can give you. On the bench for City, Zach Steffen, John Stones, Eric Garcia, Ilkay Gundogan, Fernandinho, Ferran Torres and Liam Delap. For Arsenal, they lost Rob Holding in the warm-up, so David Luiz came in to replace him. They're now in a back three. They had planned, it seems, to be in a back four. The three is David Luiz, Gabriel and Kieran Tierney. Hector Bellerin and Bukayo Saka are wing-backs, right and left. Midfield, Dani Ceballos, Granit Xhaka, with Willian, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Nicolas Pepe completing the starting 11. Willian was playing number 9 in that first half, which has left us somewhat confused. On the bench, the goalkeeper, Runar Alex Runarsson, Alexandre Lacazette, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the big money signing, Thomas Partey, Mohamed El Neni and Eddie Nketiah. And as we mentioned, they had to make a change pre-game, and so only 6 on the bench today for Mikel Arteta, having lost Holding in the warm-up. Our referee is Chris Kavanagh. Stuart Atwell's our VAR. Anthony Taylor, the fourth official. And we are back underway at the start of this second period. Manchester City, sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks. They attack the goal away to our left in this second half. Arsenal the other way to our right. Navy shirts, shorts and socks with a kind of pink salmon trim and white numbering on the back. Early chance for Arsenal here. Crossed by Aubameyang, header by Pepe. On target, though straight at the goalkeeper who makes the save. And Pepe's gone down afterwards, holding his right leg.
It's a brilliant play, wasn't it? Xhaka releases Aubameyang on the left-hand side, cuts inside his right foot, bends the ball towards a penalty spot. Pepe rises above Nathan Ake, middle of the goal, heads it down. The header's weak and straight at Ederson, but just lands awkwardly, Nicolas Pepe, and grabs hold of his right knee, and he looks in a lot of pain.
Yeah, this does not look good for Pepe. It got up well, and though it was a weak header, as Chris says, it was on target. Anywhere but straight at the goalkeeper from that range, it may have done some damage. But it's the right knee, isn't it? And that may well be it for Pepe. Lacazette getting stripped off.
We might actually get a centre forward on the pitch and Willian playing wide. There you go.
I mean, we don't want anyone to get injured, but it's exactly what they should have done pretty much immediately at half-time.
Absolutely.
Maybe Pepe knows that, and he's just faking this injury so common sense prevails. Who knows? Maybe he's a coach in the making.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's landed and tweaked a ligament as he's landed. Very difficult to see from the angles that we've seen the replays on.
Yeah, I mean, it looked fairly innocuous. Yeah. But they have sent Lacazette and Nketiah out for a warm-up. Have Arsenal, and
he's up. Moving up fairly well.
Yeah, he's limping pretty heavy. He's got very thin legs, isn't he, Pepe? I'm noticing here. I'd never really looked at them before, but spindly legs. Normally footballers have got, the big Roberto Carlos like thighs, haven't they? But
he certainly hasn't got those, has he?
No. Made of matchsticks, Nicolas Pepe.
Needs to get himself in the gym.
Well, he's jogging off the field at the moment with the physio is Pepe, so he may well try and continue. Temporarily, Arsenal are down to 10 men and Manchester City have the ball on the halfway line with Bernardo Silva. It's to Ake. Back to Bernardo Silva again on the halfway line. Looks infield to Rodrigo. Edges forward. He will find Ake. Ake down the line to Bernardo Silva. No Kevin De Bruyne today for Manchester City.
Pepe's back on.
And he's over on the left-hand side temporarily with Aubameyang through the centre. Willian on the right.
It's moving quite well, really.
What was all that about? That was odd, wasn't it? It looked like his game was over for a few seconds. But maybe just a bit of panic there from Pepe after a bit of a twinge on the landing. Here's Raheem Sterling with a change of pace, and he carries towards the penalty area, pokes left to Foden. Foden's cross overhit towards the returning Sergio Aguero, who can't control. And that's out of play for a throw into Arsenal in the left-back area by the corner flag.
It's not a great ball from Phil Foden. He should have better quality. It's on his stronger left foot. Should be putting in a much better ball than that. Completely overhit it.
But again, it's Raheem Sterling. He's floating into a pocket of space, carrying the ball forward, Chris.
He's been really impressive. I really like him in that role. That little bit of freedom, and when he's receiving it deeper, he's got more space to run at players than receiving it with a player behind him in a wide area. He just looks so much more comfortable there and so much more effective.
Throw in from Arsenal, turned into touch by City. Another throw to Arsenal, which Tierney will take. Up in the air by Aubameyang. Rodrigo then jumps to the ground under minimal pressure from Willian. Referee's giving the free kick. Willian wasn't too happy about that, I think it's fair to say. Free kick to Manchester City, just inside the Arsenal half. Already worked the ball out left, have City. Bernardo Silva down the sideline to Foden. Beats David Luiz to the ball. Back to Bernardo Silva again. He's away from Bellerin into Raheem Sterling. Gets away from Xhaka, but he's passed to Mahrez. Intercepted by Tierney, who carries the ball forward. Into Saka, on to Xhaka. Back to Saka. Here they are on the halfway line. Bukayo Saka will find Tierney. Tierney left-footed cross. Looks for Aubameyang. Sliced behind his own goal by Ruben Dias.
Yeah, positionally was brilliant, Ruben Dias, as the ball came in from Tierney looking for Aubameyang. He picked up the perfect position, just didn't get the contact on the clearance. Actually swipes at the clearance, a little bit panicked. Really should be just slowly side-footing that back where it came from. Gives away a cheap corner.
You expect better for £65.4 million.
Yep, you do.
And this is a chance for Arsenal with 5 minutes gone in the second half. It's a corner on the attacking left-hand side, which Willian will take right-footed. It's away by Dias, who makes up for his mistake. Tierney turns the ball forward towards goal. Oh, it's not too far away, you know.
That was clever.
It's really hit the roof of the net.
Really clever attempt from Tierney. I think the ball was coming out to him. I think he was just thinking about helping it back in, and I think he just spots Ederson off his line a little bit and thinks, I'm going to try and lob him here in the far corner, and he wasn't far away from doing it.
Yeah, Ederson may well have just got back to his goal line in time, but was awkward for the Manchester City goalkeeper. Arsenal back in possession again, midway inside their own half. 50 minutes gone, it's 1-0 to Manchester City. Raheem Sterling with the goal. Man City on their slowest start to a season for 10 years. 4 points from 3 under Roberto Mancini back in 2010. They were third that season under the now Italy coach. Guardiola in charge of a side for a 5th season for the first time in his career. It's Arsenal with the ball though. Willian midway inside his own half looks infield to Xhaka. Xhaka looks to spread it left to Tierney, who's a growing influence in this game from the left-hand side of a 3-man backline.
All of Arsenal's best plays come down that left-hand side, isn't it? Tierney and Saka have linked up really well at times.
Not been able to create a goal-scoring chance as yet, but certainly, as Chris says, that's where the threat seems most likely to come from. And here they go again as Ceballos clips it out to Tierney. 20 yards or so over the halfway line. Turn of pace, looks to take on Mahrez and
tried to
Cancelo, and ran into Cancelo, and I think he's claiming he was body checked there, but no way.
Yeah, he just gets a little bit excited here, doesn't he, Tierney? Thinks he can knock it between Cancelo and Mahrez and get to the ball. He kicks it far too far ahead of him, realises he's never going to catch it, and just throws himself to the ground trying to win a free kick.
City trying to play the ball out from their goalkeeper. Ederson's ball upfield, blocked by Aubameyang, who got in his face there. And it's gone into touch over on the defensive left-hand side from a City perspective. Their throw is right by that corner flag. Even City getting caught playing out from the back these days.
That was Aubameyang pressing from the central area. I think that's where he's effective.
Okay, wants to take this throw. Nobody wants it from him, so it's straight to David Luiz, who heads forward. Clearance by Diaz of City, recovered by Gabriel, then Ceballos ball back towards Leno. Very nearly slipped in Sterling. Well read by Leno, came a long way out of his goal to get there first. We'll let Ceballos off with that one. Maybe he saw Leno coming out, but gave me a bit of a heart attack for a few seconds there. And I'm sure it gave Arsenal fans a bit to worry about too.
You didn't see Leno in the picture, did you? So you're always waiting to see where he was, whether he had a high start position or not. But like most goalkeepers nowadays, particularly ones that play out from the back, his start position was very, very high and he was able to deal with it.
Philip on Twitter says Arteta needs to make some early changes. We have strikers, we have Partey, why are they not on? No changes as yet as we get to the 54th minute. Here's Aguero for Manchester City. Infield to Mahrez, who leaves it for Rodrigo. Right to Cancelo, down the line to Aguero. Back to Rodrigo. Around the halfway line, City have it on the left with Ruben Dias now. Into the retreating Sterling. Back to Ruben Dias, then left to Nathan Ake. Into Sterling, almost walking pace here for Manchester City as they have the lead, they have the ball. Hasn't necessarily been an ultra-intense performance from Manchester City so far as they find Aguero, turns away from Tierney. On the right-hand side, level with the penalty area, is Riyad Mahrez. Gets back on the left boot, away from Saka, shoots a goal. It's on target from Riyad Mahrez, but saved down low to his right, somewhat comfortably by Bernd Leno.
Yeah, it's typical Riyad Mahrez, isn't it? Works the opportunity, keeps faking to shoot, works his way further and further across the penalty area until he can fire the shot at goal. This one was low towards the far corner, but far too close to Bernd Leno, whose handling was really good.
His passing's not great here, though, as he chips it out to the near side and Bayer in it.
I think Martinez was better on the ball than Leno. I really do. I think they've got rid of the wrong goalkeeper.
Martinez, now Aston Villa's number one, of course.
Both the same age as well. Both 28 years.
Well, one's Germany's number one and one spent 10 years as number three.
He's far from Germany's number one. Come on.
Was this week, though.
There's a certain Manuel Neuer.
Never heard of him.
Germany.
He was number one this week, and that counts. You've got the shirt till you don't. Here he is now doing a Neuer. Midway inside his half, he gets there before his defenders and
if
clears it.
If he mucks up when he's doing a Neuer, is that a Noah?
Very good. Very
Thanks
good.
again to Duncan.
Yes, Duncan, you've really raised the calibre of this commentary with your comedy. Thank you. Excellent work. Here he is, Bernd Leno, in his own penalty area this time, finding a forward pass to Ceballos. Left to Gabriel, then to Tierney, whose forward pass was poor. Walker intercepts. Here's Aguero into Sterling, back to Sergio Aguero. Pokes it right to Riyad Mahrez, tries to find a return ball. Mahrez to Aguero. It's straight to Leno, Chris, and there's so much that just looks like walking pace from City when they have it in Arsenal territory.
Yeah, they're just very comfortable keeping the ball, aren't they? They're slow in possession down, but they haven't got that injection of pace. Right, Mahrez, it was there trying to inject the pace with the pass. They haven't been accurate enough at times with those passes.
Just had a tweet from, I'm assuming, a German football fan who says Leno played in the friendly against Turkey. When it really mattered, Neuer came back for the Ukraine and Switzerland games. I know, we're just having some fun. We're trying to enjoy ourselves. Come on, lighten up, everybody. At TalkSport Live, there, if you want to criticise anything else we said in commentary today. Oh dear, 57 minutes gone. Man City 1, Arsenal 0. Here's Ruben Dias approaching the halfway line. He'll find Ake down the line to Foden. Back to Ake again. Still both managers on the edge of their own technical areas. Good challenge by David Luiz on Raheem Sterling to get Arsenal back on the ball. Ball clearance by Gabriel will find David Luiz in an unfamiliar midfield position, pushed over by Rodrigo, has been booked already for a Guardiola tactical foul.
That wasn't a bad one, no. That wasn't a booking. He was just trying to get tight to David Luiz's first touch. Almost teased Rodrigo in a little bit.
They never are bad fouls, though. It's accumulation, isn't it?
That one wasn't stopping him going anywhere. It wasn't a yellow card one.
I'll keep them counting. I used to do it with Fellaini. I used to do a Fellaini-ometer. When he used to do 9 fouls.
He made a lot of fouls, Fellaini.
Because referees were like, I can't keep sending him off. And so we do about 8 and finally get booked. Maybe it is more of a Fernandinho thing these days. Be more modern, Tom, yeah? Come on. Here's Aubameyang out on the left wing on the halfway. Turns forward away from Riyad Mahrez for Arsenal. Looks to slip in Pepe. Not a great ball to him. Diaz gets his body in the way and it's into touch. And Chris, they've got to make that change. That front three for Arsenal's not working.
Yeah, they've got to do something, Arsenal. You feel that maybe the hour mark will be the time that the first change might be made. They made a bright start to the second half on a couple of occasions, Arsenal, but nothing's really changed in their play. They're not creating an awful lot. You feel that Mikel Arteta does need to make a change now and just try and do something different.
You are, Alexandre Lacazette, in great goal-scoring form right now. You've got to be thinking, well, why am I not on right now? And I'm not sure I've got that answer for you. He's looking to score in 4 consecutive league appearances for Arsenal. For the first time, he's done it in 3. Of course, they have Eddie Nketiah, who scored for the under-21s. He's scored against West Ham, scored against Leicester in the Cup. And neither are on the field at the moment.
England under-21's top scorer, I read the other day, surpassed Alan Shearer.
Yes, but I mean, it sounds impressive when you say it like that. The other man with that record was Francis Jeffers, so maybe less so. But Arsenal giving the ball away in their own half here.
I think it's something like 12 in 14 appearances, 14 in 12 appearances. Decent record, though.
It is a very good record, and he scored winners in recent Premier League games as well. So, of course, he came off the bench that day, didn't he, against West Ham?
At the moment, I think he's better off the bench. He's still very young, hasn't quite got the physique, I think, to play as that lone centre forward.
But Lacazette, you'd say, does?
It has. Oh, absolutely. He can hold the ball up. I mean, very, very experienced Lacazette now. But 29 years of age.
I'll tell you what, with Arsenal, though, you do notice this, that they do play like a really good mid-table team in these sorts of big games. And what you do when you're a mid-table team at a big club is hold on till the final 10 and try and snatch something. At 1-0 down, they are still very much in this game.
They're very much so. And they've had little periods in the game where they've created chances as well.
But they're on the back foot here as Aguero runs into Bellerin. Good challenge by Bellerin. Ball loops up in the air. Bellerin away again. Recovered smartly on the volley by Bernardo Silva, who finds Foden. Foden back towards Nathan Ake. Down the line to Foden again. Ceballos for company. Foden rides the tackle and finds a pass. Rodrigo. João Cancelo in the centre of the pitch. Forward to Sterling, back to Cancelo. Cancelo looks left to Bernardo Silva.
He wanted Mahrez wide there, and Mahrez was infield.
Does encourage his players to go infield, though, does Pep Guardiola. Certainly his full-backs when he has them. Wing-backs today. As Arsenal centre-half Kieran Tierney wins the ball in the air here from a chip towards Mahrez and clears it down the line. Recovered by Rodrigo. Flicked forward. Into nowhere by Cancelo.
Well, Cancelo thought that Mahrez would be wide too, and he wasn't.
He still wasn't there. He's not there, João. Stop doing it. It's going to touch for an Arsenal throw, which they've since lost. Challenged by Bernardo Silva. Ball loops forward. Mahrez and Gabriel battling for the ball. It's still in here.
Let's give him a free kick.
Well, the Arsenal centre-half was desperate for a free kick on the ball to go into touch, wasn't he there? Finally got something. And it's an Arsenal free kick with 61 minutes on the clock and the score 1-0 to Manchester City. But Raheem Sterling with that goal on 23 minutes, the only goal of the game so far.
Looks as though it might be Manchester City to make the first substitution.
Well, I'm still just baffled by Willian as centre forward. Yeah. I'm still not seeing the appeal of it, and I'm not quite sure what it's brought to Arsenal thus far. Maybe there are some fitness issues with the other two players, Nketiah and Lacazette, we don't know about.
Well, Lacazette certainly didn't go with the French squad, did he?
No. But you can get injured anywhere, Chris, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
You can drop a pint of milk on your foot, can't you know? Mind you, it's plastic bottles these days, isn't it?
Sure,
so what's that going to
do? Yeah.
Maybe in like the 1920s that would have hurt. I don't know. David Luiz won a free kick here. He went to win the ball in the air around the centre circle. I think it's a high boot. And the free kick's been taken. It's worked out right to Pepe, midway inside City territory. Held up by Ake, played back towards Willian. Return to Pepe, who finds David Luiz on the halfway. We are hearing that Gundogan might be coming on for Sergio Aguero in the next couple of minutes. 62 minutes of Aguero's return so far. Foul by João Cancelo on Kieran Tierney on the left-hand side from an Arsenal perspective. Cancelo's getting yellow carded here, but I think there might be accumulation.
I think it was quite late.
Just getting the replay now.
He rakes. It's a nasty challenge from behind. He rakes his studs down the back of Kieran Tierney's calf and Achilles. It's a poor challenge.
Yeah, that's not a good challenge there on the replay we're getting here on our monitors. Tierney has stayed down. City aren't going to make their substitution as yet because Arsenal have a free kick on the left-hand side. It's about 10-15 yards over the halfway, close to the sideline. Willian and Tierney, who is now up, are over it, and Willian is the man with it. He looks infield to Ceballos, who carries Arsenal forward to David Luiz on the wing, who's dummied away from Riyad Mahrez and shoots at goal. Blocked well by, I think it may have been Cancelo with the final block on it there, as Luiz looked to pull Mahrez. It's a corner.
Funny free kick, wasn't it? It looked as though it had gone wrong, didn't it? But then found David Luiz. Good little bit of skill on the edge of the box, looking to bend the ball towards the far corner, but well blocked by Cancelo.
I refuse to believe the plan was release Luiz down the wing.
Absolutely not.
Willian's ball in, underneath the goalkeeper. Xhaka is with him, and the referee has given a foul against Xhaka.
Xhaka's just standing there, isn't he? And Ederson has got to be stronger, but as usual, any sort of contact on a goalkeeper is a free kick.
There was hardly any contact, really. He's just standing near him.
Standing in front of him, wasn't he? Yeah.
That's one of those ones that I'd love referees to explain. I've never sat down and said to a ref, can you just tell me why that's a foul? Because I'll never get it. Anyway. Substitution now happening, 65 minutes gone. Sergio Aguero withdrawn, Gundogan on to replace him. What does that mean for the formation, Chris? And also, what have you made of Sergio Aguero 65 minutes in?
I think Aguero's done well for his first 65 minutes of the season. Doesn't look 100% fit, but has done a real job. And I think he's given City the focal point that they've been missing. With a polite replacement in way, but may see Mahrez going and playing central again. It looks like Sterling's actually gone to play centre forward.
I wonder if that will mean a more wider change in shape for City as well. Back to maybe a 3-3. We'll see as it settles down. For the moment, we've got a free kick to Arsenal as Rodrigo, who has been yellow carded, I'll remind you again, has given away yet another free kick, and it's left Ceballos on the ground here, and we're seeing a replay of it.
It's a foul.
And this is a yellow card, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a foul. It should be a yellow card. Yeah, absolutely. I think if he hasn't got a yellow already, that's almost certainly a yellow card.
And I think a couple of the Arsenal players have said it there. I mean, what have you got to do to get the second yellow?
I mean, that was a nutmeg, that one.
Yes. But did he get the ball?
He would have got the ball had it not been for a foul.
So he didn't get it, so it's a nutmeg. Come on, we've made it up.
No, it wasn't a nutmeg.
It's a nutmeg if he doesn't get it.
It was a foul to stop him.
Now you're changing the rules.
No, it was a foul, wasn't it?
We've got no time for that as Tierney looks forward towards Saka for Arsenal. Tries to turn away from Ruben Dias, does well to find the ball back to Tierney. Tierney infield to Bellerin, approaching the penalty area. Outright to Willian, who's up against Phil Foden. Forced away from goal by Foden is Willian. It's back to Ceballos, who finds a forward pass to Bellerin. Then to Willian, back to Bellerin on the right. Return to Willian again. Forward towards Bellerin, flicked in towards Pepe.
Nice idea.
Yeah, straight to Ederson.
Better from Arsenal, good possession, probing, waiting for the opportunity.
Fans listening around the world, I'm sure, would like to hear Thomas Partey come on. He hasn't made his Arsenal debut as yet. The big money signing, Lacazette and Nketiah all on the bench. Just trailing 1-0 at the moment, Arsenal, as Willian looks to slip in Aubameyang. It's not a good ball from Willian there, and Arsenal have given away good territory, but City have given it straight back to them, and Saka can bring the Gunners forward. Turn a pace away from Rodrigo, who fouled him about 4 times there. Eventually, he's clattered into by Ruben Dias. That's a free kick in a dangerous position.
Another yellow card for City.
But he was being held there, wasn't he, by Rodrigo as he looked to run through. And that should probably be a yellow card, shouldn't it?
Does he drag him back?
He has a couple of little goes at him.
Really, does he? He doesn't really. He knows he can't afford to grab a hold of the shirt because it will be a yellow card, but Saka's really been positive on the ball tonight. He's really impressed me.
Absolutely. And there could be something in this, I'm telling you, for Arsenal.
Yeah, absolutely. 1-0 down. They're very much in this game.
It is not done from a City perspective, and Arsenal look dangerous.
This is the wrong side for Pepe, quite a long distance out as well. You'd imagine David Luiz fancies this one.
Well, we're looking at about 30 yards, maybe just a touch over. It's, from an Arsenal perspective, left of centre.
So it favours a right footer, certainly. Willian's capable, certainly David Luiz is capable.
Well, Willian's
Pepe would have to be a little bit further to the right for Pepe, I think.
David Luiz might fancy a blast here as well as he takes a long run up, so there's plenty of options, plenty of things to consider for Ederson, the City keeper. Pepe, Willian, Luiz over it. It is David Luiz, and it's not a good free kick.
Yeah, he doesn't get the dip that he's looking for, does he? He gets it up and over the wall, but it doesn't ever come down.
I can't recall that free kick ever going in from David Luiz, but I do recall seeing it about 40 times.
Yeah, a lot.
Willian is a brilliant free kick taker, as is Pepe. Why on earth has he got the chance to take that? I do not know. Anyway, as you heard, exclaimed by Chris Perry, Alexandre Lacazette is on, and Willian is the man off. Not before time, Chris.
No. Had to be a change that they had to make. 21 minutes left now on the clock. Got to bring a centre forward on.
Scored 3 and 3 has Lacazette, combined with Aubameyang for 11 goals in recent history, and so he will be a threat. And of course he is a real threat from the subs bench as well, is Alexandre Lacazette.
He seems to be playing deeper than Granit Xhaka at the moment.
Oh dear. Too clever, Mikel. Stick your strikers up front. Number 9, centre forward. It's not hard. Maybe it is. 20 minutes remaining. Man City 1, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live. A reminder, we have another game for you after this. It's Newcastle United against Manchester United. Tim Long and Paul Parker reunited, having called the Tottenham debacle for the Red Devils a couple of weeks ago. I wonder if United would have improved since then. If Paul Parker had any hair, he may have pulled it out that day. I can sympathise, Paul. Ball is back with the City goalkeeper Ederson, who looks out to Paul Parker. No, he doesn't. It's Kyle Walker. You get confused, don't you? Two great right backs. I know he's listening. Still no Thomas Partey here for Arsenal.
I'm not sure in this kind of game situation you bring him on.
We apologise to our Ghanaian listeners who may have tuned in to listen to Thomas Partey. I'd have had him on. Don't blame me. I'm sure we'll see plenty of him in our Arsenal shirts.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't spend that amount of money on a player and not play him. I think it's the lack of training this week that's probably meant that he hasn't started. I see him starting in the centre of that Arsenal midfield for a long, long time.
Yeah, we're told he came back from international duty where he played in Turkey for Ghana on Wednesday, got to England yesterday, late Thursday, early Friday, so didn't have the chance to train. Has a chance against Rapid Vienna on Thursday in the Europa League. It's then Leicester in the Premier League next Sunday, followed by a home game against Dundalk, again in the Europa League, the Irish Premier League side. Looking forward to that one. I know they are Dundalk supporters. The great Tommy Smith, big Dundalk fan as we know, and he'll be looking forward to that immensely. Gabriel there has cut across Bernardo Silva as Silva looked to chase the ball down with Leno having the ball at feet. Bit of a shout of a penalty there.
He's got every right there, Gabriel, just to step across him. Nothing in it.
Well, it's gone a bit flat, Chris, I've got to say. It's certainly a delicately poised game, but I'm not sure it's two teams that are playing at their absolute peak at the moment.
No, but I think we're in for a decent last 20 minutes. I think Arsenal now have to start putting a few more players forward, have to start taking a few risks if they're going to get back into it, and it may well open the game up for City.
Ball in towards Lacazette, just inside his own half. It goes back to Ceballos, who is the man who looks to get Arsenal moving once again. It's out left to Saka, who's probably been their best player on the day. Finds the ball back to Tierney. Forward to Saka again, who takes it on the half turn. Lovely. And gets away from Rodrigo. Finds Aubameyang outside. Back to Saka again. It all goes through him. Here he is again, the 19-year-old. Back towards Aubameyang on the left wing. Skipper goes short to Tierney. Back to Aubameyang again. 73 minutes gone. It's Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live. Raheem Sterling's goal on 23 minutes separating the two teams. Here's Ceballos. Down the right. He looks back infield and towards Gabriel in the centre circle. It's on to Tierney. Fired down the line towards Aubameyang as they finally try to play the penetrating pass, but it's overhit and into touch.
That was the right pass, wasn't it? They worked the opportunity well.
Just getting a replay here, Chris, on our monitors of the Bernardo Silva.
He's allowed to run wherever he likes on the pitch.
But he's looking directly at him. And
he can run where he likes.
He's literally staring at him, and it's almost like they're playing tag.
It's not a foul, though, is it?
It's not a foul. Okay, it's not a foul, but it's weird. Like, I've not really seen a great deal of that. He has no intention of seeing when the ball is.
I did that a few times in my career. You don't often see it nowadays.
It was a real Chris Perry, mid-90s sort of tackle, that. I enjoyed it. I'm not sure Bernardo Silva did. Won't be used to seeing things like that, Bernardo Silva.
He's got quite big shoulders, Gabriel, to run into as well.
Yeah, just ask Bernardo Silva's jawline all about it. No foul, though. Clearly not given. And rightly so. As Saka is caught by Bernardo Silva just inside his own half. If it is going to come for Arsenal, Chris, it's going to be Bukayo Saka involved.
Yeah, down that left-hand side has been their best avenue all evening. Pepe's offered very little down the right.
Yeah. Gabriel forward towards Tierney.
You could potentially have taken Pepe off and put William wide right.
Yeah. Not a decision the manager has made, but does still have Nketiah, Maitland-Niles, should he want to bring a different direction to that Arsenal front three. They have it with their goalkeeper Leno at the moment, who's being chased down by the Portuguese Bernardo Silva. Back towards David Luiz, who'll find Leno again on the penalty spot. Chips it out left towards Tierney, who brings it down, heads it forward. Saka's missed control under pressure, intercepted by Cancelo. He'll find Mahrez forward to Bernardo Silva. Back to Phil Foden. Foden square to Gundogan. Gundogan left to Raheem Sterling. Corner of the area, a couple of step overs up against Bellerin. Bellerin does well to nip the ball off Sterling's toes. That will be a City corner.
Yeah, it was good defending from Bellerin, wasn't he? He was very patient. Raheem Sterling was desperate for a little step over, open up the space to bend it in the far corner, but Bellerin knew exactly what he was doing.
Corner on the attacking left-hand side, which Gundogan will take. And who came on for Sergio Aguero. Corner's taken short. Back to Cancelo. Out of his body. Right-footed cross. Whipped in. Flicked on. Ake's there. It's away by Tierney. Saka then further away under pressure from Nathan Ake. Into touch for a throw.
Bit of an experience from Saka there. I think his heels were clipped by Nathan Ake. Should have gone to ground. Ends up giving a throw in away in a poor area.
Mahrez doesn't take the throw. He's taken his time. As you can hear, there's a couple of Arsenal players out there. Aubameyang's the voice you just heard, saying every time they're taking too long. They've got to get on with it. They're time wasting.
Well, they're game managing, aren't they? They're managing the game now, City.
Another throw won by Riyad Mahrez. Gives me a brief moment to tell you the breaking news from Newcastle against Manchester United is Harry Maguire starts and captains Man United against Newcastle in the game that immediately follows this one. Lovely skill by Cancelo on the right-hand side. Low cross. David Luiz turns the ball towards his own goal. Could have gone anywhere. It has gone wide, and in fact it's gone for a corner.
It's beautiful skill from Cancelo. He had Kieran Tierney absolutely on toast there. Sent him one way, then the other again. Fired it across the box. Wasn't really going towards any Manchester City player, but David Luiz wasn't to know what was behind him. Stuck a foot out and sort of trickled away towards the goal, but didn't go in.
Corner taken by Gundogan into Foden. Back to Gundogan. Cross towards Riyad Mahrez, who takes a drive from distance. It loops over the top from Riyad Mahrez, and that will be a goal kick for Arsenal. 77 minutes gone, it's 1-0. Chris, Harry Maguire starting for Manchester United. You did predict that earlier on, that if he was fit, he would play.
Yeah,
he's fit and plays.
He's fit and play. They were never going to drop him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they spent so much money on him. He's their captain. I think he needs to play. He needs to get back playing as soon as possible. It would have been a really bad move to have left him out.
I'll tell you, has been dropped. Paul Pogba on the bench for Manchester United. Juan Mata getting the start for the game that Tim Long and Paul Parker will bring you. Coverage of that one starts in around 25 minutes from now. Newcastle against Manchester United. Here's Rodrigo on the halfway line for Manchester City as they look to close this one out against Arsenal. Ruben Dias, crossfield to Kyle Walker inside his own half on the right. Down the line towards Foden, who turns and finds Cancelo. Back to Foden, intercepted by Saka. Forward to Aubameyang. Can't turn forward, though, the Arsenal captain. And runs into touch with the ball at feet. Didn't really know where he was going there. I think Aubameyang was desperate to be fouled. Wasn't. And looked a little silly there. As City play out on the left-hand side. They do seem quite happy just to ease their way to a 1-0 victory here, Manchester City.
Well, they're happy at the moment because Arsenal were just sitting back again and not really pressing, so they're just happy to keep the ball. They're the team in possession of the lead, and Arsenal really need to start forcing the play.
Possession-wise across the match, it is 60-40 in Manchester City's favour. As you'd imagine from City at home. City in general, but they've given the ball away here. Gundogan can't retrieve that, and Lacazette can bring Arsenal down the right-hand side, and Pepe's running if he can find him. Not a great ball from Lacazette, intercepted by Ruben Dias, who then in turn finds Bernardo Silva. And City look to break themselves. Here is Bernardo Silva, goal scorer this week, whilst away on international duty with Portugal. Finds the ball infield towards João Cancelo. Away from Tierney. Foden down the line. Here he is now. Phil Foden shifts and shoots. Blocked by Gabriel.
I always feel Foden's actually much more of a threat when he comes in from the right-hand side onto his left foot. A couple of chances he missed in the first half. Had he been on the other side of the pitch and coming inside onto his left foot, he would have scored.
Hasn't really been much of an attacking threat in this game, Phil Foden, though he was stuck out at wing-back for much of the first hour or so of the match as Lacazette looks forward here to Pepe. Not a good forward ball again from him. Diaz will get there easily before Pepe.
Yeah, positionally he's been really good tonight, Ruben Dias. He's had a couple of missing clearances and things like that, but his positional play's been superb.
Here's Rodrigo. Oh, he's lost out to Saka here, and it's ricocheted towards Aubameyang, who's gone down under challenge from Kyle Walker. Walker then has a bit of a go at Rodrigo for giving the ball away, and I think the midfielder could probably have a go at Kyle Walker back for giving away a silly free kick here.
Doesn't really need to make a challenge, kind of dives in a bit, just needs to get himself goal side. Aubameyang going across goal. He wants the challenge to be made, Aubameyang, and Walker obliges.
It's another gift of a free kick for Arsenal. Last one was wasted by Luis. He won't be around this one.
Pepe's placed this one, isn't it? Doesn't suit a left foot up. Aubameyang's there as well. He can score a free kick. I mean, they've got some really good options. Lacazette looks as though he fancies it. David Luiz is actually just trying to form some sort of block of the view of Ederson.
Well, there's too many good players for one of them not to get this right. So, who will it be? Lacazette, Pepe and Aubameyang, the trio over it. It's a 5-man wall for Manchester City. A 3-man Arsenal wall ahead of that, as Aubameyang wanders away. Pepe looks the man with the most focus on his face. 82 minutes gone. It's 1-0 to Manchester City. It is going to be Pepe. It's down, but it's wide. Well, it was better than the free kick from David Luiz a few minutes ago, but the same result. It's off target.
It's always going to be difficult from that side of the pitch for a left footer to bend that outside the wall and get enough whip on it to get it back in. We are going to see Thomas Partey for the first time in an Arsenal shirt.
And that was the last we're going to see of Pepe in tonight's match. He's withdrawn for Eddie Nketiah. Goal scorer for the under-21s, and of course the winning goal scorer against West Ham in the Premier League this season. He is on, and as you say, Thomas Partey, the most expensive Ghanaian player of all time, brought in from Atletico Madrid for £45 million on transfer deadline day. He makes his Arsenal debut in midfield, coming on to replace Granit Xhaka.
Thought I heard Mikel Arteta shout out back four as well.
Well, it's always tough to find out what Mikel Arteta was saying, because he speaks so many languages that he shifts between them while he's giving instructions to individual players. So, is that your high school French coming to the fore there, or was it Spanish?
It was the fact that he said in English, back four.
That helps. But then maybe it was English to you because you understood it, because you're multilingual. I don't know. We'll see how that shakes up. Maybe that might mean Aubameyang goes centre forward.
Oh, there
Novel.
you go, David Luiz, look.
Yeah, been done by Raheem Sterling's lovely touch.
Just doesn't happen.
Here's Raheem Sterling, found by Foden. Sterling in the area, running across, trying to find a return to Foden. Gabriel's made a good block there.
They have gone to a back four, Bayer in right back.
But they have to do something though, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, they have to try and change something. The pattern of the game was comfortable for Manchester City, wasn't it? So he's changed formation, looking to just mix it up a bit for the last 10 minutes or so.
84 minutes on the clock. Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live. Raheem Sterling's goal in the 23rd minute, separating the two teams involved in 6 goals in these last 5 Premier League games against Arsenal. It would just be him to be the difference maker from an Arsenal perspective, as Nathan Ake, time wasting over a free kick, is going to get yet another yellow card for Manchester City. That's the 4th.
That's
that they
3
have
of the
picked
back
up.
4. 3 of the back 4 have got one now.
I mean, to be fair, they are certainly managing their way to victory here, City. They are looking for the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th. It's not been a all singing, all dancing, showboating performance, has it?
But I think you don't get those sort of games now against Arsenal, because they're set up very well defensively. Difficult to break down, aren't they, Arsenal, majority of the time?
Certainly are, but it did happen once, and at the moment that once is all it's going to take, as Partey looks right to Luiz, midway inside their own half here, Arsenal. David Luiz carries it forward. Good ball down the side to Bayerin, who runs infield. There are options forward now for Arsenal, which there haven't been for much of this game, and we are in now or never territory almost. Saka down the left against Riyad Mahrez, forced away from goal. Played back towards Ceballos, who has that whip style of passing the ball around, and he finds Luiz, cross towards Aubameyang, just over his head there. Saka can't keep it on over on the far side. Walker was with Aubameyang and maybe just eased him out of position enough.
That was a good ball from David Luiz when he stepped forward into the space, whipped the ball towards the penalty spot. It's a lovely ball. And Aubameyang just over his head. Walker did enough, didn't he? Just kind of forced him underneath it.
Well, they need to be a threat now to Arsenal. They've done the hard yards here in keeping the score down, keeping City at bay, keeping Aguero quiet, who's since gone off. And now it's time to get something from the game. Goal kick is headed forward by City towards Foden. On towards Mahrez, away by Tierney. Hits Mahrez on the back, ricochets back off Tierney. That's a Manchester City throw, which again are going to take their time over. See, Kofi says here about Thomas Partey's name, but he said Party this week in his video when he unveiled himself, so you can say that, mate, but, you know, this is what the guy said himself. What do you want from me?
We've just got to go for Thomas, haven't we? I think that's probably what he's got on the back of his shirt.
This is what he was called in Spain as well, Thomas,
yeah.
Which, you know, we're not doing that over here for whatever reason.
Well, we've done Gabriel, though.
Well, high ball towards Raheem Sterling here, who's goal side of Bayerin, and then he's sent him for a hot dog, and he's still in the area, and he looks to find Foden. Good challenge by Thomas Partey in his own penalty area. Gets the ball away for Arsenal. Gotta hate pernickety listeners, haven't you? Tell you how you're pronouncing things wrong. Hey? I'm just telling you what he said himself, pal. 3 minutes remaining.
Pay your wages, those listeners.
Wages, they call them. I think you'll find. Having some fun, Kofi. Come on, enjoy yourself. Lighten up. Phil Foden's ball back towards Kyle Walker, midway inside his own half. Will chip it out to the far side. Mahrez volleys infield into Bernardo Silva. Back to Riyad Mahrez. And Mahrez will turn. Forward towards Foden. Foden against David Luiz. Looks left to Sterling. Stands on the ball. Back into Riyad Mahrez. Good challenge by Ceballos, who can now bring Arsenal upfield. They have a runner in Nketiah. They have a runner in Lacazette. Lacazette stops his run and picks the ball up deep. He's not gone centre forward for a second since coming on, Lacazette.
No, he's kind of doing exactly the same role that Willian played.
Saka lobs it over the top towards Aubameyang. Walker in his own area, gets his body in the way. He's done well there.
I think the flag must have gone up eventually against Aubameyang.
Well, I don't know what the point of bringing on Lacazette is if you're going to play him central midfield.
No, it doesn't make any sense, does it?
But that is what's happened. And we're going to get a substitution here for Manchester City in the final exchanges. The man who scored the goal, Raheem Sterling, thought he was going to come off there. In fact, they've changed that. Originally I was told Sterling. It looks more like Phil Foden will be going off. And yes, they have now changed the board now. Phil Foden withdrawn. Fernandinho on to replace him as City edge their way to victory here, which is just about deserved. Or was this more of a 0-0?
I think probably on chances created, it's been very even. There's not been a lot in the game. That one goal is the difference between the two sides. It's not been fantastic flowing football from City, but they've managed the game brilliantly.
Thomas Partey with a strong challenge there to get Arsenal back on the ball. Plays it back towards the Arsenal now back four. David Luiz is on it. Goes back to Leno in his own goal mouth. We've got 50 seconds of normal time remaining. Get the ball upfield, Arsenal. Chipped up towards Nketiah. Beaten to it by Diaz. We can now bring it out towards the left-hand side. Lacazette is with him. He's done really, really well, Ruben Diaz. He wants a free kick. Shouldn't get one. Doesn't get one.
He doesn't seem too bothered. I don't think he was completely convinced himself, was he?
Back to Leno from Arsenal's throw-in, which they won. Chipped out left towards Tierney. Still being very much kept inside their own half here, Arsenal, aren't they?
There's no plan B, is there, in terms of there's literally 12 seconds left of normal time here. Let's get the ball forward and try and play in Manchester City's half. We know they're not very good defensively in the air, so let's put them under pressure. Let's just pass it in front of them again.
And that's all well and good, but get in their half a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gabriel's forward pass is intercepted there, and City looking to counter here. Mahrez and Cancelo trying to combine. Couldn't do so. 4 minutes added on at the end of the 90. David Luiz with a ton of pace here as he carries Arsenal towards the halfway line. Forward pass though towards Bellerin, goes straight to Raheem Sterling and into touch.
At least he's shown a bit of drive and intent to get into Manchester City's half.
Don't just keep passing it left and give it to someone else. Do it. Take command of the situation. That was all right from David Luiz there. His pass wasn't great, but much more like it.